goodness. We're the best wrestle, huh? Oh, man, we're the best wrestle, man. Moxley and Copeland showed you exactly why AEW is not we're the best wrestle. Absolutely obscene on Dynamite tonight. I wasn't sure I was watching the second largest promotion in the United States or I was watching some rinky-dink GCW light being run out of a fucking armory somewhere with 60 people in attendance. I don't understand, I don't believe why they feel like they need to resort to indie mud show trash. Our boy Trevor, he thinks he won tonight. He may be going to the pay-per-view, but that doesn't mean he's going to win. He basically won, only to lose to Kenny Omega. And the women main evented tonight, Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander. We'll talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been quite a week. But I'm going to the venue. I got my cold beverage already. And when I get there, I want to know on this Wednesday night, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this Wednesday evening, wherever you may be, joined by the one and only Chi-Town Smark himself. Jesse, what's going on, brother?
Not much, bro. Am I loud enough for you?
You are loud enough. Yes, thank you. No need to scream into the microphone, man. Nobody wants to listen to anybody screaming into their microphone.
Oh, yes, they do. God forbid, if my volume isn't loud enough. I don't want to start off with the bitch. And we had a tornado here in my town, man. It's been a day. How's it over there in the NYC?
It was a beautiful 65 degrees and not a cloud in the sky, bro.
Well, let me tell you what. Since you usually get my weather about 48 hours later, get ready for it, man.
Let me check the weather now that you said that. I have plans this weekend. Yeah, we're getting rain tomorrow, and we're getting rain on Friday. Jesse seems to be a meteorologist in his off time.
You guys, it's usually about 36. You guys usually get our weather about 36 hours later, and if this tornado, dissipates and falls off on the way, then great for you, but motherfucker was hitting hard here for us, man.
Yeah, as long as you're alive, as long as your family's safe, that's all that matters.
Yeah, they were all scattered all over the place. Some was at church, some was at a family member's house.
Oh,
I
man.
was here watching this godforsaken show.
I know. You know where I was, man? I gotta shout him out. My guy Triple M. He ran me through some video game talk here. He ran me through the Root of Nightmares raid on Destiny 2, man. We did it at least 15, 16 times today. Finally got my conditional finality, man. Yeah, just the final boss checkpoint, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Finally got my exotic, man. Yeah.
Hey, it dropped for me on like 2 tries, but it's all good, man.
4 years in the making, bro. Finally got it.
Man, it's getting nerfed and everything, man. You should be happy.
Now we got to get you a Vex, right? You don't have a Vex Mythoclast, do you?
Well, I need a catalyst.
Yeah, see, that's where it comes in, man. You need that catalyst.
I need I need all kinds of stuff. Let's get through this show first.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to ruffle a couple of feathers here today, man. It's usually what the MO is here on Wednesday nights. Someone's gonna find something to complain about, but usually it's all in good fun and it all means well. But usually we start with Jesse, so I'm gonna pass it off to him. Jesse, where do you want to start, man? Because there was some good, there was some bad on tonight's show, but there certainly was some good, and it was definitely better than last week.
Right. It was. What was my favorite part of the show, though? That's the question.
When it was over.
But that's not. That's not the show. That's the show not being a show anymore. So, man, I feel like the easy thing to say would be just Toni Storm, but I'm left confused. I have no idea why that match went on last over the world title match.
Yeah, I was trying to drum up with some explanation before we sat here live in front of almost 3,000 people on Wednesday night, man. Jeez, the JD from NY fall off is so real, man. I can't believe it. I'm still waiting for it. I don't know why this went on last, Jesse. I feel like that's something that I feel AEW really wants to get across, how important Toni Storm is. That's the only thing I could really come up with. This match did not have a main event build. It did not have a main event feel. Toni Storm in herself is a main event. Megan Bayne is not. Kris Statlander is not. This story is not.
That is fine. And the perfect way to showcase that would have been having Toni Storm main event the last pay-per-view you just had, where she was actually in the match and a title was on the line. Toni Storm wasn't in this match, and there was no title on the line. So, why is it the main event over your world title, no holds barred match that was good enough to main event the pay-per-view, but it's a mid-show fucking jerker on a Wednesday night? How does that make sense? How?
This is the thing that I get criticized for, and people don't see it. We called exactly. Jesse and I had almost 4,000 people in here when we did the Revolution post, and we went over this. We talked about the match order, looking at it after the fact, after the show was over, that Toni and Mariah should have main evented, and Copeland and Mox should have been in the middle of the show, because there was a lot of spots, a lot of heavy hitters at the end of that card. We went from legitimately banger after banger after banger after banger consecutively. This is Tony Khan trying to listen to the criticism of everybody who said what they said coming out of Revolution, trying to fix the problems that everybody came up with coming out of Revolution for this show, and still almost in a way, yeah, exactly. He still didn't listen. So I don't understand why he goes and does exactly what he should have did at Revolution tonight, and it still comes off as if he didn't listen. Tonight's show did not need to be main evented by anything but Moxley and Copeland. Not what we saw with Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander. At least with that, at the pay-per-view, you had every reason not to put it on at the end of the show. Tonight, with nothing else on this show, it should have absolutely been positioned in the main event, especially with the way the match came off. It's just fucking, it's so amateur that it's laughable, man, that fucking, normies like me and you and everybody else can book this shit and theorize this shit better than the people who are actually running this show, man. It's fucking sad.
So he listens to us. He listens to podcasters, not just us in particular. He listens to us. He listens to Cornette. He listens to the community podcasters. He does. So I know he heard everyone say how the Moxley and Copeland match should not have main evented, and it should have been the women. But I don't think he understood any of us and why we said that. He just thinks that, the women should be in the main event over this. That's not it. It's about the better match, the better produced match. He knows what we're gonna get in the match, but beyond that, at least the women had a world title match. The women had a title match. The men had a title match. He could have easily slotted the women's title match for this particular pay-per-view to be in the main event, and it would have been fine. Not only that, the women fucking delivered, and they would have come through. That doesn't mean that every women's match should be in the main event when there's a world title. If you have a world title match on the card, that match should default be the main event. Now, if you have two world title matches on the card, then use your better judgment, okay? Make the most sense out of it. Make sure your biggest spots and everything else are positioned to be at the end of the show. That doesn't mean if you're going to run back a match, by the way, a match that everyone universally shit on, nobody enjoyed, so AEW tortured us by giving it to us twice. I mean, that has got to be the most tone-deaf decision I've seen in a long fucking time. Nobody enjoyed the match. Why are we running it back? Let's move on. Let's just fucking move on from it. Wipe your hands. Okay, we learned, didn't work out. Move on. No, don't give it to us again and then put it at the top in the middle of the show and have a non-title match close the show just for that match to announce a women's title match at the pay-per-view. Now, is that title match going to main event the pay-per-view?
No, it's not.
Probably not. And they'll probably deliver to the point. I don't think he understood the community when he tried listening to them.
He doesn't listen, bro. He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen.
I don't fucking get it.
I don't know who produced the match at Revolution, and I don't know who produced this match. Yeah, I mean, they don't really leak that information because they don't want you to know what the fuck's going on back there. It is so bizarre how this match should have been the one at the pay-per-view, and the one at the pay-per-view should have been this match. Like, I don't understand it. Like,
no. This match should have been the one at the pay-per-view, and one at the pay-per-view should never have happened.
Exactly. Yes. There you go. Thank you for correcting me. The one that we got tonight should have been at the one at the pay-per-view, and then that should have been it. We should have never got it again. Like, I don't understand where we're going. Why don't you listen to your fucking audience, bro? Everything that you did is ass backwards. You pretend like you're listening. I got people from that locker room telling me that they listen to the fans, and they don't listen. They don't listen at all. Tonight was a fucking... I don't want to... Listen, was it better than the match we got at Revolution? Anything would be better than that because that match was a complete shit show. But this is not better. I don't understand the mentality. You want to go out there and you want to claim that this is where the best wrestle. I get it. You got a ton of great talent. You got some of the best pro wrestlers on the entire planet working for you in AEW. But if you need to resort to this type of fucking obscene mud show, indie-rific trash to get a reaction. And I know exactly what they're thinking. I'm not fucking stupid. Any reaction is a great reaction. If they're shitting on it, at least they're giving us a reaction. That's what they're thinking. They don't give a shit if it came off as an indie-rific fucking mud show piece of shit match. They don't care. What they did tonight from Moxley, especially in Copeland's case, who's 50-something years old, doesn't need to resort to this garbage. This is exactly why everybody is shitting on the company. They don't need to resort to this. This is what people think of when they think Jon Moxley, this garbage. This is exactly what they're thinking of when they think of Jon Moxley's title reign. This is exactly what they're thinking when they're thinking Jon Moxley's credibility went right out the fucking window. Why do you need to resort to this type of obscene shit when all you need to do is tell a proper story? Now, I can get into why, Jesse, why everything else outside the spike match or the spike spot in the match where it was legitimately sticking to his skin, and I thought his skin was going to be ripped off his fucking back tonight. We can go into that, but the one part that really fucking boggled my mind was the story that they just seemed to just forget to tell 2 weeks ago. Or it might have been last week. I'm not even sure. What was it, last week? Nick Wayne was blasted by Christian Cage after Nick Wayne got in Christian's face for failing to cash in the contract and failing to win the World Championship. No context, no backstage vignette, no promo, nothing between him, Nick Wayne, and the Patriarchy on television. All for Nick Wayne to come out tonight after he was blasted by his quote-unquote father to go out there and get revenge for what happened to Christian at Revolution. Where's the context? You want to tell me that Nick Wayne is being fucking bullied by Christian Cage and he's getting in Christian's face for being a failure, and then you want to show me tonight that it's not anything that we should be concerned with, that Nick Wayne is not bothered by what Christian had to say and what Christian did to him. He's just going to go out there and try and save face? Why? I don't really understand that. Where's the context in between? How do you want me to get into that story if you're not telling me anything and there's no dialogue in between scenes? I don't get it.
No, it just feels like they just completely rewrote. They wanted a mulligan. They wanted a complete redo of what they gave us at the pay-per-view, despite them already giving us fallout from the pay-per-view. So it kind of made no sense. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm hearing the rumors that ENC about to get back together, for the benefit of Flash Photography. But what does that do for Nick Wayne, Mother Wayne, Kip Sabian? I mean, does ENC go babyface or do they go heel? Does Copeland go heel or does Christian go babyface? From tonight, it looks like they're gonna move Christian to babyface and have Nick Wayne be the one to kick Christian out of the Patriarchy or some shit. I'm not sure exactly what they got planned on or how to do this, but it looked like we got some kind of a farewell from Cope. So is he saying farewell to his babyface gimmick to go heel with Christian? I'm not sure. Either way, none of this made sense, though.
None of it.
None of it made sense.
Now, theoretically, think about this. After what I just said and what you just said, if you want to go and look at the other side of things, maybe Nick Wayne is operating on his own behalf and Christian doesn't know. But why would we think that when Christian Cage last week basically wanted a redo and wanted his contract back because he feels like he should have gotten a one-on-one match with Adam Copeland when he knew exactly what he was doing? He cashed in and he got a triple threat match. He wanted his contract back. So why would Nick Wayne be doing that? And why would Christian not know exactly what Nick Wayne is doing? I don't really understand, because that was one of the theories that people were trying to push onto me on social media. But why would that happen when Christian last week asked for a reset and wanted his contract back? It doesn't even make any sense if you want to go that route either.
Yes, because I'm also not sure why he chose to cash in his contract on Copeland as opposed to AR Fox, apparently. According to his logic, he could have cashed his contract in on anyone and gotten a title shot, right? So why did he do it at that exact moment, particularly hoping to cash in against Copeland and not the world champion?
I don't know. It's a logical thought, logical question.
I would have I would have cashed in on Pizza Pete or whoever the fuck. I mean, according to that logic, you don't have to be champion to cash in your contract. Who wrote that shit?
Who wrote this show? Like, why does anything that happened here tonight, why does anybody think this makes sense? Did you all look out the fucking window in the arena and watch the snow fall down in Omaha, Nebraska? What happened? Like, I don't understand that. Then you got the FTR situation where they're out there and Dax is contemplating whether or not he should shake Copeland's hand, and he's turning heel while he's shoving his own tag team partner. How the fuck did we get from A to B here? You mean to tell me that FTR is teaming with Cope all these weeks to battle the Death Riders, then they disappear to go wrestle on Collision against the Undisputed Kingdom and team with Danny Garcia and whoever else the fuck is over there and go after the Undisputed Kingdom. Then they come back to Dynamite and back up Cope in this match because it's a no DQ street fight. What happened in between? Where did you go? Why did you disappear? There was no dialogue. There was no discussion. There was nothing backstage with FTR and Cope. All of a sudden, we're to believe that FTR and Dax now has a problem with Copeland. Why? Because he lost tonight? He lost to the Death Riders? He lost to Cope? What would give Dax the idea to turn on Cope after all this time? You were the one who left him! You left him alone! So where Jay White needed to back him up, where the fuck were you guys? Where were you?
Where's Jay White?
Where's Jay White? I don't believe.
Who's Jay White?
Who writes this shit? Who?
That has kind of been the gimmick of FTR the last couple of weeks on Collision, to not shake hands of the opponent.
Like, I understand where it's going. I get it. You want to do heel FTR versus babyface Christian and Adam Copeland. I get it. But my God, man, are we just doing it because you want to do the match and you don't give a fuck about how we get there? Or do you think that something with these four guys that could be great would be even better with story? I mean, why would Dax, the biggest fucking grifter in the entire community for AEW, why would he want to turn heel? Why would he want to betray Adam Copeland? Why would he not want to stop the Death Riders? I don't get it. I don't understand it.
No, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they try to make sense of putting Copeland and Christian back together and having a feud with FTR. I mean, clearly that's where they're going. Remember, Copeland is coming off this thing where he is fired up. He is Mr. AEW. He cannot believe Moxley is running shit. He wants to put a stop to it. He wants to give every fabric that he has within him. He's going to go from all of that to 5-second poses.
And that nostalgia is going to wear off within fucking 2 weeks, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Quickly.
Telling you right now.
And it would make more sense to pull off that gimmick as heel, by the way. I mean,
probably.
I mean, but none the fucking less. I don't understand where any of this is going, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm tired of trying to figure it out. It's like trying to solve a riddle.
Yeah. You know the one thing that you said that kind of resonates the most with me out of everything we discussed already so far is where this leaves. You said where this leaves Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. If Christian leaves the Patriarchy and goes to team with Adam Copeland, who is his real life best friend, by the way. Where does it leave the rest of the Patriarchy? So in question, nobody can really criticize what me and Jesse talk about for legitimately asking this question. You want me to believe that I love Christian. I think Christian had the run of a fucking lifetime here in AEW. I think his heel work has been tremendous. I'm a lifelong fan of Adam Copeland, one of my favorites of all time. I don't understand how anybody could look at this and then not question where their feelings are towards everything that's going on right now. Are they for the company or are they for themselves? Because if you are a talent like Christian and Copeland, you're going to leave those two kids out in the cold for them to do nothing. You do know that when Christian leaves Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, who's basically done nothing, even though he's with Christian in the Patriarchy, that those two kids, I guess Kip Sabian's not a kid, but Nick Wayne, they are both absolutely fucking rocks sinking to the bottom of the ocean. They are dead in the water. They are where Max Caster is right now, dead.
Yes. And Luchasaurus coming back is not going to help that situation.
No.
He also needs Christian Cage. I think the pairing of Christian Cage and Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus was actually brilliant. Adding Kip Sabian, it's been harmless. It's been fine. It works. The shitty part is they failed to capitalize on it.
They did nothing. They did nothing.
They did nothing. They didn't do a shit. I mean, they put them together, and then they just sporadically disappeared from TV. I mean, randomly came back here and there, which also I don't understand because Christian Cage held a very important tool to the major storyline of the entire company. He is literally the X factor. Just, you never know when it could happen, what might happen, when's he gonna It's gone. Nothing came from it. Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian has not benefited from Christian Cage, and they should, and they would have if booked correctly, because Christian Cage is probably the absolute best, probably the number 2 heel in the whole company. They just didn't do anything creatively. On pen and paper is where that failed. It should have been. It feels like that should have been easy, fucking easy. Christian Cage is a goddamn charisma machine. How has Nick Wayne not come out of this better than when he went in?
There's no change whatsoever. The only thing that changes is the amount of years he's been on this planet. That's it. No growth, no star power built in AEW. The entire company is surrounded by greedy fucking stars in the locker room who don't give a shit about the growth of the company. That's it. I mean, how could you look at it any other way? You can't.
No. We're at a point right now. They've been together long enough. People should be clamoring for the Nick Wayne face turn to get his comeuppance on the asshole Christian Cage who treated him like shit over the last year or so. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares because, Jesse, they haven't told a fucking story. They went from Patriarchy, staying together, off TV to maintain the mystique of the contract, ultimately to him failing to cash in, and then Nick Wayne, after months, getting angry at Christian, but no tension, no dialogue, no teases, no journey to get there. They went from point A, months of nothing, to point B, and then they expect us to care about a Nick Wayne removal from Patriarchy and a potential Nick Wayne babyface turn. Nick Wayne should be one of the youngest babyfaces to break out because of the relationship that he's had with his mother and Christian Cage in this entire ordeal, and they've done nothing to build his star. Zero. So why would you expect me to care about Nick Wayne coming out of the Patriarchy? You know where he's going? He's going right to fucking Rampage. And you know what? Rampage doesn't even exist. Whatever's below fucking Collision is where he's going. It's awful. And it's fucking sad that this company does not put a priority on building new stars and telling stories. And this is exactly why we complain every single week. Just that alone.
Yeah, they're not. All of these veterans, these seasoned veterans who know how to work a crowd, who know how to work a story, who know how to work a match, they know how to do every fucking thing. These guys have run this business collectively, for a few decades. You're not using them properly.
No.
Who has Copeland elevated in his return?
Zero. He's elevated nobody. He hasn't even elevated himself. After tonight in the spot that we got, I don't think he's elevated even himself. He's lowered himself, honestly.
They had the right idea by putting Christian Cage with Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne should be a prospect. Nick Wayne should be somebody that they have future plans for down the road, down the fucking right now. Nick Wayne is under mid card, which is where he should be. He's got to pay his fucking dues. But working side by side with someone like Christian Cage to give him a fast track to get straight to that fucking mid card title run somewhere. He's worse than where he was when he started this fucking faction. What are they doing with him?
I don't know. It's sad. A lot of people say that the inmates run the asylum in AEW. We don't know. We don't have any concrete information on that. But if you want something to really give that statement and that rumor some legitimacy, just look at this storyline. Tony Khan has let his veterans basically book themselves. And if there was proper leadership in the company, we wouldn't be getting somebody like Nick Wayne from the Patriarchy, who's got absolutely zero story around him, being removed from the patriarchy and us not giving a shit. If there were writers and producers and people, consultants who actually oversaw this shit instead of letting the talent run the shit, which goes from talent to whoever Tony's right-hand man is, back to Tony Khan, and then he finalizes everything, it would be a lot better off than what we're getting now. But when you let the talent run their own shit and book their own stories and pitch their own ideas for Tony to say yes or no, then everybody gets lost in the shuffle, and then you get someone like Copeland and Moxley who don't give a shit about the young talent, that will disregard the young talent and only look out for themselves because they don't want to let that spot go because they are who they are and they feel like they belong there. It's so fucking bad, bro. It is so bad right now. I don't know how anybody doesn't see it. No. It will be glossed over. It will be overlooked, and people will be saying, "Oh, JD and Jesse, they're nothing but grifters and they're haters." But meanwhile, we are making a ton of sense right now, and nobody could really back up what the company is doing right now. Listen to us and say, hey, man, these guys are wrong. No, you can't do that.
No, that's fine. We'll just keep being the bad guys, and I guess everything else is just working out fucking perfectly fine for them. No notes.
Nothing.
Don't worry about us then.
Nothing. What else happened tonight? We got the ladies main eventing. Shouldn't have belonged there. We got Megan Bayne and Toni Storm potentially right now going into Dynasty. I don't know why we're booking Megan Bayne in a one-on-one match because Toni ain't losing that championship after she just won it. I don't really get that.
Because she has to lose at some point.
She has to lose at some point, but why put her in a position to lose to the world champion? Where does she go? It's like using a cheat code, bro. You're on stage 1 and you got no power, and then you use a cheat code to get to the final boss, and you got all the fucking level ups that you should be getting and acquiring during the play of the game, and then you lose. And then what happens then? You go right back to the bottom. Where's the evolutionary stages? Where's the journey? We go from 1 to the championship match, and then she loses. Where does she go? You don't go anywhere but down. I don't understand why we're doing her and Toni now, ultimately for her to lose. So what's the outcome? What's the outcome? Does Penelope Ford turn on her? We don't need
turn.
They haven't
She's with her?
They haven't even bothered to tell what the relationship is between them. What is the relationship between the two ladies? What? Oh my God! Turn what?
They're together. I thought Penelope was just out there just witnessing the match and spectating. I know what the fuck she's doing out there.
They can't even be bothered to tell Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford's relationship. Why are they together? How did they come to be? We haven't even heard a fucking word out of Megan Bayne's mouth yet. Nope. Is she going to cut a promo on the way to Toni Storm? I would hope so. After tonight, Toni Storm's promo really cut right into Megan Bayne. You think Megan Bayne's going to come back with a rebut? She's got to speak some point.
It did. Toni Storm even calling out, say, you ain't even said anything yet, bitch. What the fuck are you doing here?
This show was fucking, it is so bad. It is so bad. And I don't want to say the show was worse than last week. It was better than last week, but the things that they are doing it's almost blatant. It really is almost blatant. We'll talk about it. We'll get into the situation with the ladies. We'll get into the Fatal 4-Way. International Championship Fatal 4-Way. We got Mark Davis, Ricochet, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Orange Cassidy for the right to lose to Kenny Omega at Dynasty. And we have, obviously, the Cope and Moxley championship match. No DQ street fight. Omaha, Nebraska. They made a big deal about the weather, and I'm glad that everybody got to where they needed to be safe. The show was not affected by the weather. Everybody that was advertised and everything that was advertised for the show was on the show tonight. So do not blame the thumbs down show that you got tonight on the fucking weather. Everybody was there, and everybody that was advertised was on the show tonight. So we'll get into it, and it is going to be an entertaining stream. We got 3,500 people in here, Jesse, on a Wednesday night. That is unbelievable. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. It seemingly seems that everybody who called for my demise, man, has only made us stronger on Wednesday nights, you know?
Bro, I don't know what the fudge is going on. I do not peruse social media, particularly for this reason, because it's just fucking depressing, it's stressful, and it's unfucking necessary. So I'm a little bit in the dark as far as what this whole thing is that you're talking about. I just know about the events that happen at Hog. Other than that, I don't know. I care, but I don't. Because if it's happening on social media, I kind of don't.
I don't blame you.
If it's happening to you, it sucks, and I would like it to stop. But, man, and if I'm hearing about there's some drama going on in the community, that's not going to make me fucking rush to it. That's the reason I'm staying away from the shit, man.
Yeah.
I got my own fucking personal issues, my own fucking problems in my own life. I don't need an app to make it any worse for me.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. We're gonna try and get through this tonight, guys. Thank you very much for all your support. Make sure you guys go out there and follow us on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Go follow Jesse at Chi-Town Smart. Even though he doesn't use Twitter as much as some people do, he's still on there. He checks it from time to time. But you should definitely go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is linked down below in the description. So please go and do that. If you guys like what you hear out of Jesse, you get some of that in some solo content on his channel. So go and do that for me. I would really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up. We got 700 likes. We need another 300 for 1,000. I would love to get to 1,000. No excuses. We got 3,400 people in here, so make sure you guys do that. And please go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. We're live from Monday Night Raw. We did almost 80,000 views between X and YouTube on the Monday Night Raw review. Solid Monster and I were live for a great discussion last night, episode 87 of Tuesday Night Titans. Go check that out. And make sure you guys get those super chats in. It's the best way to support the show. We will hang out at the end of the show and read through your messages with our cold adult beverages. Jesse, don't we have a corner to sit into? I think it's. I think, man. I think the community wants me punished, man. I gotta go. I gotta go sit in the corner. No.
We gotta put you in the toned down a little bit version of Collision Corner.
Oh my goodness, man! Collision Corner. You know what time it is? Look at him. There he is. Look at him.
So. I feel like I've been spoiling everybody a little bit too much with Collision Corner. It's getting hard to outdo my previous content. So I'm going to bring it back down to where the roots of Collision Corner stem from.
Well, you know, man, it's gonna be tough to top Lucha Lane, bro.
That's what I mean, man. I'm getting carried away here. I can't keep outdoing myself. So I'm going to get back to the basics. I'm going to get back to what Collision Corner was meant for, and then when we get something that can break the mold, we'll get back into the excitement of new sections. We're getting new sub-factions here in Collision Corner, man. We got to fucking calm down a little bit, bro. So, we have Ricochet defeats Shibata.
Oh, man.
Now, actually wasn't a bad match.
I listen, I'm sure it was not a bad match, but the clip that I saw on social media was very circus-esque, bro.
It was. I mean, it was it was a nice little mix of Ricochet's high-flying style and Shibata's technical wrestling style. It didn't go crazy, it didn't go too long. It was just fine. It was all right.
Who does that cater to, bro? Who does that spot cater to? The Sickos?
Anybody who is sitting around on a Saturday night looking for a mediocre match to watch.
Okay, which is about 200,000 people. Right.
At least it told a phenomenal story, right?
Excellent. Yes, I'm sure. Our boy Trevor, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? You doing good?
Man, I hear Trevor's still killing it on social media.
Yeah, he is, man. He's getting schooled. He's getting schooled by some certain New York podcaster, man. I don't know who he is, but he seems like a cool dude to me.
I feel like this guy couldn't wait to leave WWE. You know, if he would have waited about a few more weeks before he became a heel on Twitter, all of this shit he's doing on Twitter right now would have made sense. But it's fucked up now because he did it all as a babyface.
It's amazing, man. It's like they almost don't read the community guidelines or the AEW guidelines and handbook, man. They're not allowed to do what they do, and Ricochet apparently is breaking every single one of them.
As long as it works out for him, that's what's important. That's what's important. We have Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Griff Garrison.
Who?
Exactly.
He's still there. He still has a job.
But I will say this. about Griff Garrison. I have a spot for him in this company on this show.
Oh yeah, where?
I'm being dead serious right now. I think Griff Garrison needs to get recruited and transformed by Julia Hart, his former cheerleading buddy.
Sure.
It's something for them to do. They can replace a body that they just lost in the Wolfhounds, Hells of Black, or whoever the hell they are now. Make Brody King the leader. Make Griff just down there. It'd be something interesting. I remember watching Griff Garrison on Dark. I was impressed.
You're asking them to use their brains, bro, and I don't think they have any.
Yeah, I'm serious. I would bring Griff Garrison into the same faction with Julia Hart. Julia Hart recruits him, changes him from this fucking whatever the fuck he is now into something that they can work with Brody and Buddy and her. I actually thought about that watching Collision.
Remember the Varsity Blondes, bro, with Brian Pillman Jr.?
I do.
Do you imagine ever think what Griff Garrison thinks of Lexis King in NXT now? How much happier he is?
Probably looking like, wow, I wish I should have went over there with him. I actually do. But they won't do that. That makes too much sense. So let's move right the fudge along. We have Mark Davis.
Oh, boy.
Mark Davis defeats Mark Briscoe to advance in the Why Is This Even Happening Eliminator tournament.
You know, I'm not going to shit on Mark Davis too much, man. We'll get into what Mark Davis did tonight. He actually impressed the shit out of me tonight, so.
Yeah, but he did the opposite of that on Saturday. Top Flight and Hologram defeats Shane Taylor Productions, which led me to once again question, why does Shane Taylor have his own fucking faction?
Bro, why does Hologram have so many friends, bro? It's like Will Hobbs, now he's teaming with Top Flight. I mean, how many tag team partners does he have?
Do you have a hologram mask?
I do.
He's one of your friends too. All right. See? Megan Bayne.
Oh boy.
Megan Bayne defeats Thunder Rosa, proving that she has bigger ovaries than her.
Megan Bayne has a bigger bank account than her boyfriend as well, so there you go.
That's not relevant at all. Well, Thunder Rosa cut a passionate promo about how she was going to go out there and destroy Megan Bayne, and she has bigger ovaries than her. So in the bigger ovaries stipulation match, Megan Bayne won.
Well, wait a minute. This was actually said. Ovaries was actually said on Collision?
I do not kid here. Yes.
Oh, I thought that was just something that you ad-libbed into the fucking script there.
Nope.
Oh my God.
This was the match for the biggest ovaries.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
True story.
All right. Poor Thunder Rosa. I hope she gets out of there ASAP.
Man. And in the main event, we have FTR defeating the Undisputed Kingdom in a really good match, actually, that was ruined by the distracting and annoying commentary of Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole.
Oh, God.
Adam Cole was distracting and annoying on Saturday night.
Wow. I mean, that doesn't really bode well for his streaming career if he wants to go full-time stream. Doesn't the commentary team sound bad enough with Tony Schiavone? Now you got to add those two guys?
Bro, Adam Cole did his best to try to feed off of what was going on, but Danny Garcia, wow. Man, keep that guy away. So tonight we got Tony Storm on commentary, giving some ad-libs. How did that go for us tonight?
Tony Storm is fantastic.
I loved it, right? Fantastic. Good, fresh comments. It's great. Great comments here and there. Polar opposite is what we get when we get Danny Garcia on commentary.
So Danny Garcia's TNT title reign is awful, and he's a shit color commentator. That's great. He's got no career after wrestling. That's great.
I didn't. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Collision Corner. And just so you guys are aware, I really, really, really do watch Collision, so you don't have to.
Oh my goodness, man. This show sounds fucking awful. I genuinely feel bad that Jesse has to watch this shit, man. I really do. What an awful fucking show.
We were grinding some fucking Destiny, and I legit had to stop stop having fun and enjoying myself to go watch Collision.
At some point, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to look at Tony Khan and say, listen, Chief, this is what you've been using our $180 million on. Shane Taylor Promotions and hologram, huh? That's great.
This guy, I mean, this guy is like mid-card purgatory on Collision, is this Shane Taylor production.
Fucking awful. Let's get into tonight's show, man. Ricochet, speaking of our boy Trevor over here. Ricochet, Speedball Mike Bailey, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Davis in a fatal four-way Eliminator tournament final to earn a shot to lose to Kenny Omega at AEW Dynasty for the International Championship. Now, this was by far, easily, the best thing on the show. This was the best match of the night, and the one thing that stood out to me on this Wednesday night. We'll build up to it, but I have an initial statement here. You know, we've given him and the story a ton of flack. You know, but I don't know what the company's plans are for Mark Davis. I don't know what they plan to do with him and the Don Callis family. Obviously, you've seen the work that Kyle Fletcher has put in. He's been just tremendous. And I really hope that the company continues to build his momentum where he does get a spot at All In. And I do believe he deserves a very big spot at All In. And I hope that it is in some way a crowning moment for him, whether it's a TNT title or something along those lines. Just a definitive statement win for Kyle Fletcher. Obviously, you got him, but Mark Davis, who is Fletcher's ex-tag team partner, you know, we giving him a lot of shit, Jesse, but I feel like out of everything that we saw tonight, the breakout star for this Dynamite was Mark Davis. I thought he looked fucking tremendous in this match. He played the big man role excellent. His offense is believable. He was in there and he was mixing it up with Speedball and Ricochet and Orange Cassidy, and I thought he was the star of this match, man. So shout out to Mark Davis. He was fucking great. And the one thing that I take away from this match is his performance.
Yeah, he's good. I'm not going to lie. He didn't stand out to me as much. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like he's trying to fill a role that Brody King is already there to fill.
I could see that, yeah.
And he's not sticking out to me as anyone of interest. And the one thing that would help Mark Davis get over would be creative, so he can forget that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that he was a good aspect over this very predictable match, because it was either going to go one of two ways, Ricochet or Speedball. And they opted to go with both of them because Tony Khan couldn't decide which one of his toys he wanted to let play with Kenny Omega. So we will get into that. Don Callis is on commentary, and Bailey's out there. This is his second match in AEW. So just by logistics, you know that Mike Bailey is not going to lose his second match in AEW, which basically AEW backed themselves into a corner already coming into this match with Mike Bailey, only one match under his belt. So, yeah, Josh,
I'm sorry. Creatively, I already don't understand how they are, and they are somehow starting to fuck up Mike Bailey. I mean, the guy just got here. The guy's had one match. Why is he involved in any kind of tournament or situation or even story, to be honest? This company are the kings of not having story. Mike Bailey is someone that right now that does not need story. All we need are matches, maybe some promo work, but I know he lacks in the promo department. But how many people do we have missing from this roster, sitting around doing nothing, who can use a bump as far as being put in a tournament like this? And Mike Bailey just got here. There's no rush. Put him in some matches, put him in the ring with some of your best workers, and let Mike Bailey do Mike Bailey shit. But why is he involved in this tournament in any way? He literally just got here.
Bro, they can't help themselves, man. They did the same thing with Ricochet. Within 5 weeks, they were putting him in a match with Will Ospreay, and then they hit it behind their anniversary show. So this is what they do. They bring in a talent that's fucking uber talented and great, and all the sickos and the indie-rific fucking fans know who he is, and then they want to rush to give us, man, well, you know, they probably all sit around drinking their White Claw and doing God knows what else, and they all all are sitting around a round table. Oh, man, I think Mike Bailey would look great in a match with Kenny Omega. What do you think, boss man? Well, what about Ricochet versus Kenny Omega? What do you think about that, TK? It's exactly what they're thinking. And that's how they book their matches. There's no rhyme or reason why. They just book, they sign a guy like Mike Bailey and immediately put him against the best wrestler in the fucking company. It's like, why? There's no context there, but this is what the fans want. Give me a fucking story. That's what the fucking fans want. Why is he there?
I mean, sometimes it's just easy to book. And Mike Bailey is someone that should be easy to book. Bring him in. Give him a no-name local enhancement talent. Next week, move on to a full-time guy. The next week, move on to a fantastic bell-to-bell worker. You know, take a week off. Fourth week, come back and get another fantastic contracted in-ring worker. Fifth week. I mean, if there's progressions to this shit, to the point where we're like, well, fuck, now he's going to be matched up with Ricochet? Shit. No, we got that week 2.
Yeah. Week 2. Mike Bailey already has lost his luster after 2 weeks. Everybody's like, oh, look, this match is going to be a banger at the pay-per-view. Every match that Mike Bailey should be in is a fucking banger because he's a great pro wrestler. But outside that, what makes him stand out? Nothing. Right. He looks like fucking Karate Kid, you know, and he's out there with no story. Why would I care about Mike Bailey when there's fucking 20 other Mike Baileys on this roster? What makes him Mike Bailey? What makes him stand out?
I don't understand it, man. I really don't. It would take weeks to get your audience to the point where they care about Mike Bailey. And since his strong point is pro wrestling, just stick to the pro wrestling, no story just right now. That's it. And they're known for this. They know how to just book people to wrestle with nothing else. Why can't they do that for the one that should be booked like that?
I don't know, bro. You're speaking to a wall, bro. They pretend to listen. Ricochet says that they listen, but nobody believes him. They don't fucking listen to nobody. Ricochet and Bailey take turns hitting a standing shooting star press. Match starts breaking down. All three opt to go after Mark Davis. Him, Bailey, and Orange Cassidy go after Mark Davis. Ricochet wanted to take a little bit of a break. It backfired. He was fed to Davis, who ran everyone down. And we go into a commercial break. We'll pick it up after the break here. Davis controlled for the entire duration of the commercial break. Cassidy hits a suplex to a big pop from the crowd. And then he was attacked by Ricochet. Ricochet goes for vertigo. He missed, allowing Cassidy to hit a deja vu head scissor. Ricochet countered into the spinning DDT, into the Northern Lights. And then Cassidy countered into a stun dog millionaire while holding his right arm. And Bailey hits a dive to the outside on Ricochet and Davis. We go back inside. Cassidy rolled through a Hurricane Rana. And he goes for recovery, gets a 2 count. Roundhouse kick and a Falcon Arrow from Bailey, who went up top for a big shooting star press for 2. And Bailey was pulled from the pinfall by Mark Davis to the outside. He was met by Ricochet, who dove onto him. We go back inside. Ricochet is setting up for a shooting star, but Cassidy kicked out after Ricochet connected. Handspring kicks and Davis to the outside. Bailey was back in. Big combo of strikes. He was turned inside out with a lariat. Ricochet hit a powerbomb into a DVD for a near fall. Cassidy is back up. He hits a spinning DDT and dropped Bailey with a beach break. Mark Davis gets back in. He missed a big enziguri, and then he ate an orange punch for a 2 count. Ricochet flew in with a springboard lariat. Bailey and Ricochet were left all alone throwing kicks at each other until both were taken down by Mark Davis with big King Kong lariats. One-arm powerbomb on Bailey led to a pop-up powerbomb on Ricochet before a pendulum pile driver was delivered on Orange Cassidy. This was a great spot by Mark Davis, only for Bailey to save it and break up the pinfall. We got a bunch of crazy near falls by Davis and Bailey, who hit a backflip double knees. That move is devastating. The backflip double knees by Bailey. Big roundhouse kick to the head. Bailey went for a backslide. Ricochet jumped in and got the pin. But the thing is, Jesse, Mike Bailey was also pinning at the same time. Ricochet jumped in on top of him, pinned him. But the comical thing about it is 2 things. Number 1, Ricochet is positioned near the ropes, and he's going for a leverage pin in a match where there's no rules. So he was acting as if it was, let me sneak this pin. Meanwhile, there's no disqualifications. You don't need to hide something like that in a no DQ match. The referee here was Bryce Remsburg. If they showed the replay 3 or 4 different times from different angles. If you go back and watch it, chat, Bryce Remsburg did everything in his power to pretend to not see Ricochet making the cover so that it could come off as if he was surprised when he saw both guys pinning on this night here against Mark Davis. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
So we can go either way with this. If he's trying to make it look like he didn't see Ricochet, then there should be one clear winner, because you're not counting down Ricochet as a winner if you didn't even see him making a pin attempt. Or second off, if you saw Ricochet actually also pinning, which is what commentary said, then you as the referee fucked up, because why are you making the count? You should not be counting. Stop. No, we need one person making the pin. I'm not counting shit right now.
None of this made any sense. This was AEW trying to be different, and it just backfired, and it looked embarrassing. Bryce Remsburg looked like a fucking clueless hack. Ricochet was on the ropes in a no DQ match trying to sneak a pin when there's no fucking rules. Whatever he was doing was legal at the time. Yeah. So I don't know how anybody there who's all the, great, we're the best wrestle, that they let such a fucking minuscule little simple fact just go over their head. Nobody thought of that? Bro, why are you do you hold production meetings? Like, bro, why are you going to be putting your feet on the ropes in a no DQ match? That's a legal move here. Like, anybody could see that.
I get what they were trying to do. That's not the worst thing ever to come up, on a fuck finish and 2 winners, and it happens. But you could have done it cleaner than this. That's all we're saying. This was sloppy AF. I mean, you wanted to come up with a controversial ending to get both guys in the match. Makes sense. It happens. All right. You could have done better than this, though.
So it was either going to be Mike Bailey or Ricochet. If it was Mike Bailey and he went to go wrestle Kenny Omega, that would be Mike Bailey's 3rd match, maybe 4th match in, and he would already be in a championship match losing to the best wrestler in the company, Kenny Omega, at a pay-per-view. Can't have that happen. If it was Ricochet and Kenny Omega, he'd go in there and he'd lose again, and he'd have no momentum because he just lost a feud to Swerve Strickland. So what we do now is we put both of them in there, and what we're going to do is not pin Mike Bailey, but we're going to pin Ricochet. So whatever happened here tonight ultimately will still result in Ricochet losing no matter what, and it will result in Kenny Omega predictably winning the championship, or retaining the championship in this case, at Dynasty. So they tried to book themselves out of a situation, and they only went right back to having Ricochet lose, which at this point, Jesse, I don't think we should be booking Ricochet to lose if they want him to maintain whatever he's got going on. Because the more he loses, the more the fans are going to look at him as not legitimate in anything that he does.
No. Ricochet should have just won the match. Mike Bailey does not even need to be here.
No.
In this situation at all. They just should have had Ricochet, versus Davis. I mean, again, Ricochet wins, Ricochet goes on. And yeah, I mean, if this seems to be a guy that they want to work with and push as far as being a top guy, you need to protect him a little bit more. So why are you putting him in this match with Kenny Omega? Didn't Ricochet just come off of a pay-per-view loss?
He did.
Why are we putting them in another certain pay-per-view loss situation back to back?
I don't know. And the only thing that would really feasibly make sense here would be if Mike Bailey and Ricochet come out of this match with Kenny Omega feuding with each other, which would then ultimately, again, lead to Ricochet losing because Mike Bailey just got here. So what exactly are we doing, and what is the thought process behind this? I mean, is there any thought process behind this? Is there any long-term booking or long-term vision behind this? Or is this simply Tony Khan has Ricochet, who right now is doing some great work. We just brought in Mike Bailey, and we're just looking for a banger match, and we don't give a fuck if it makes sense or not. That's the vibe that I'm getting. They don't care. They just want banger matches.
Look, if that's all you wanted, you just could have built from now to the pay-per-view to Mike Bailey versus fucking Ricochet. Simple opening match at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Opening match.
Yep.
Mike Bailey versus fucking Ricochet.
Yep.
Let's see it. That'd be nice. Get Kenny Omega a fucking opponent and let him fucking beat him. Make him look good. Everybody's happy. Move on to the next fucking match. I mean, I don't understand how are you already booking yourself into a corner with a guy you just got 2 weeks ago? How?
I don't know, man.
How you just got the fucking guy?
I listen, man. I wish I'm a man of many words on most nights, bro. I don't have an answer for that one.
Simple. Ricochet should have been off TV a little bit more. Let us keep seeing a little bit of Mike Bailey doing his thing. A few weeks away from, this has probably been a good week for it. Have Mike Bailey have another fucking match, and then Ricochet pops back up out of nowhere on TV and just kicks the shit out of Mike Bailey. Why? Because he's a jealous fuck and don't know why Mike Bailey's getting profiled when he should be getting profiled more. Simple. Whatever. Opening match at the pay-per-view. These two will fucking kill it. Feel free to give Mike Bailey his first loss because Ricochet does need to keep going forward. Won't be the end for Mike Bailey. You don't have to go on a 10-match win streak when you're debuting. As long as you fucking look strong, that's all the people fucking care about.
So we got a triple threat match at Dynasty. It will be Kenny Omega versus Mike Speedball Bailey and Ricochet. And I'm sure the match is going to be fantastic. I mean, you got 3 great pro wrestlers there, but the way we got here and how we went off here at the end of this match it's fucking laughable. We get what they're going for, but you didn't need to make it so complicated, man. Sometimes the simplest approach is the best approach. Moving on to another championship match here, one that is going nowhere anytime soon. The TBS title, Billie Saints,
Billie Saints, a.k.a. Billie Starkz,
against Mercedes Monet. Now, this, Jesse, was booked in 3 weeks. This was basically Billie Starkz showing up on Dynamite, where she hasn't really shown face yet. And she walked in the back, and she asked Mercedes, "Do you know who I am?" "No, actually, I don't." And Mercedes spilled a cup of water on her. And lo and behold, this gets her an AEW TBS Championship match against the biggest female in the company. So we fast forward to tonight, and in the 3 weeks of build that we got that segment, which basically led to Momo and Mercedes at the last pay-per-view. And then we get Billie watching Mercedes versus Momo at Revolution, and she's taking notes on how to lose when she actually does wrestle Mercedes for the TBS title. Which brings us to tonight. Oh, I haven't really checked up on what Ring of Honor is doing. I mean, who realistically is? Nobody watches Ring of Honor, let's be honest. Have I heard the name Billie Starkz before? Yes. Do I know that Billie Starkz is aligned with Athena? Yes. Have I seen Billie Starkz wrestle? Maybe in drips here and there, but nothing where I'm going to sit down and be like, oh my God, man, I got to watch the next Billie Starkz match. I can't wait to watch it. She is, 20 years old, 21 years old? Yeah. She showed up tonight, and she looked good. She
good for 20. Yeah.
She wrestled good. She wrestled Mercedes, who right now is fucking at the top of her game. She's churning out excellent matches. And I thought she looked good. And you can sit here and claim Mercedes is this and Mercedes is that. TBS Championship's not going anywhere. You might not like her character and this and that. But the story is that Mercedes is a fucking great pro wrestler, and she brought this girl to a great match. Now, my question is, because I've seen some geeks arguing with me online when I said it, even though this was a good match, everybody's like, this is a star-making performance. This is going to propel Billie Starkz to wherever go, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And my line of thinking is, why do you think that way, and why do you trust the company enough to do that? You know how many other women before Billie Starkz that they should have done that with and they haven't done that with? Billie Starkz wrestled a good match tonight, and that's all it will be, a good match. Billie Starkz and Mercedes wrestled tonight, and by the time you wake up, most of the people will realize that it never happened, and she'll be right back on Ring of Honor television, and she will not be back on AEW Dynamite unless Athena is specifically going to feud with Mercedes Moné, and that's it. Billie did not get anything out of this because this will not be a career trajectory type of match for Billie Starkz. So I don't know what you thought about it, Jesse, but I just find it to be laughable that people think that this is some career-defining moment because she wrestled Mercedes on Dynamite tonight in Omaha, Nebraska.
No, a 3-week build for Billie Starkz and Mercedes to come to a head at a Dynamite for a title shot. It's fine. not gonna hurt anything. It's fine. You know, that works. I mean, they didn't do a very good job of telling that 3-week story, but that's par for the course. That's fine. You know, I mean, but it feels like that they already tried to plant the seed in everybody's head that Mercedes is gonna make Billie Starkz look great in this match, you know, and things happen organically for reasons. When they happen organically, it feels like that the moment was just meant to be, as opposed to them telling you this is the moment that you want it to be. And I felt like they were trying to shove this whole thing down our throats as like Mercedes is gonna put Billie Starkz over and make her look great. You know, when people do that, they don't have to be told that they're doing that. I mean, and it just feels like it's being forced on us like that. Also, this seems like they're trying to use this as a segue to get us to Mercedes and Athena, and I just feel bad for Athena already.
I do. You know what's going to get Billie Starkz over, chat, and anybody watching me? You know what exactly is going to get Billie Starkz over? Story. You can't get Billie Starkz over in 3 weeks. This was nothing more than a means to an end. Mercedes did nothing to enhance Billie Starkz. This match will mean nothing to Billie Starkz. And this was just another way for the company to get another win in the win column for Mercedes on her way to winning yet another championship. And that is it. If anybody thinks in this time, I don't know where we're going into Dynasty. Dynasty is what, April 6th? I don't know how anybody could sit there. And this would be laughable if it does happen. I don't think people will mind it because I think people want to see Mercedes run end as TBS champion, but just for the simple fact that Dynasty happens in 3 weeks, if we are legitimately building Mercedes versus Athena for Dynasty, because right now she's got no other opponent, if that is the match for the pay-per-view, how does anybody feel that Athena is going to walk out with the TBS championship? I don't. No. It's just going to be a means to an end, and we're going to get Mercedes 5 belts. Mercedes has done nothing to show us that she's relinquishing any of that power and any of those belts in the company. So what is the point? How are we enhancing anybody else but Mercedes? What did she do for Billie tonight? Nothing. What is she doing for Athena? Nothing. I don't get it. How does anybody look at this as a success for the division?
Yeah, if they actually plan on going with Athena and Mercedes the pay-per-view 3 weeks from now, I think they wasted 3 weeks of build playing with Mercedes and Billie Starkz.
They did, because it means nothing.
That should have been 6 weeks of build. That it should have been a major goddamn thing. Like that match should be the main event of the fucking pay-per-view coming up. There should be that much interest in it, that much build. I'm not saying make the match right now, 3 weeks from now, make it the main event. I highly doubt you'll make us care that much in 3 fucking weeks. What I'm saying is in 6 weeks, it should have been built up enough to be the main event of the goddamn pay-per-view.
Athena hasn't made one appearance on AEW Dynamite since her last spot when she was in the Owen Hart tournament a couple years ago. So why would anybody think if she's going to be brought back to television to feud with Mercedes after all this time away from the show, why would anybody think she's going to win the TBS title? To do what? She's going to be the TBS title holder and the Ring of Honor title holder at the same time? How does that make any sense? Then she'd have to relinquish the Ring of Honor World Championship for the TBS Championship because it's the bigger championship and the show that AEW calls its A show, and drop the Ring of Honor title, no? I don't. If Mercedes wins the Ring of Honor Championship, does she feel she needs to go to Ring of Honor? Is she going to show up on Ring of Honor television to do what? Like, what is the point of all this?
Very more. So for those wondering who might not have watched the show, Mercedes cut a promo tonight, comically questioning who trained Billie Starkz, and whoever trained her doesn't know what they're doing because she would have done better, and basically just subtweeting Athena.
Everybody thinks this is a story, Jesse.
There you go.
This is a story. This is captivating storytelling.
That's what happens when I see someone. I immediately wonder who trained you. I want to fight your trainer.
Athena,
get these women together.
Athena is coming up on 1,000 days as Ring of Honor champion. Imagine them taking the belt as soon as she is shy of 1,000 days, Jesse.
Well, she's either going to be a double champion or losing her title to Mercedes? Which one do you guys think?
I'm telling you, chat, Jade Cargill's record is absolutely being broken. There is no fucking way. There is no way that Mercedes is losing that championship, especially if Athena is in the mix. I'm sorry. They're basically bleeding their roster for Mercedes. They're throwing anybody that they can in front of Mercedes. Even though, if you look at the landscape of the women's division, there's a sea of talent that Mercedes has not worked with yet. It makes you wonder why they haven't touched those women yet, but they're going to Billie Starkz and Momo and now Athena, who's not even on the active roster. So you cycle back to the answer of, well, why is Mercedes doing this? And why is Mercedes wrestling this one and that one? That's your answer. Figure it out. Does anybody want to work with Mercedes knowing that her rampant creative control is fucking so big that we have to go to Japan and we got to go now to Ring of Honor to find talent for her to work with on the main roster?
I'm trying to figure out how exactly Mercedes Monet and Toni Storm both exist on the same show, both claiming to be the alphas of the women, and somehow have not interacted yet.
Well, we may be going there, going into All In.
But it's happening now. They're both strutting around, acting like they're both the best, as they just completely ignore the fact that the other exists. You ask Mercedes, who runs around talking about being a belt collector, you ask her, she would say that she has the only women's championship. It seems to me that she would be more interested in having another title than fighting Billie fucking Starkz.
I don't know. I don't know what Mercedes is doing for any of these championships. I don't know what she's doing for the division. I don't know how anybody looks at this as good for the division. Can someone answer me that question? How is this good? How is this creative? How is this benefiting anybody else?
Why does Kris Statlander keep losing?
I don't know. Like, where is the division? How many times do I need to repeat myself? We talked about this on Revolution Sunday. Look at what Tony did for Mariah. Look at what Tony did for Mariah. Has Mercedes done that for anyone since she's gotten here? The answer is undoubtedly no. So how could you look at her run as a success for the company and a success for the division? That is what I'm saying. And if you want to take that out of context and make it into something that it absolutely is not, you want to pull me off commentary for a take like that, shame on you. That is a feeling that's not only felt on this show, in this community, but it's felt community-wide in the IWC. Nobody has the balls to answer that question. Nobody has the fucking balls to sit up and ask these questions like Jesse and I do. But yet we're fucking chastised for asking these types of questions. It's fucking garbage. We want better for the division. This is not it. The community has cried, Jesse, for Athena to be on the main roster. Meanwhile, she's like a fucking golden nugget hidden in the depths of the earth on Ring of Honor television that has not been uncovered yet. She's like fucking fossilized fucking gold somewhere in that company, and nobody knows how to find it. All you need to do is have her drop the fucking championship, which she should have did to Billie Starkz months ago at fucking Final Battle, bring her up to the main roster, and have story around her being the one because of the work she's put in to beat Mercedes at All In, being that she's from Houston. And that would be a great story and a great story to tell. Why aren't we building to that? Why haven't we taken the steps to get to that? Why hasn't Athena been on the main roster for years now? What is the problem? I don't get it.
Where's Jamie Hayter?
Jamie Hayter's supposedly still having visa issues.
Oh, still having visas. Okay.
Yeah. Are we wrong to be asking these questions? No. Are we wrong to critique a scripted television show?
No, but Jamie Hayter needs to be sending in some fucking video promos.
Something.
I mean, she needs to. They've done it before. They did it with Max.
Billie Starkz was not put over in this match. I don't give a shit what anybody says. She'll be forgotten about by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. So they tried to put over Billie. And meanwhile, she's done nothing but Ring of Honor. I mean, nobody knows who she is. This is the first time I legitimately watched a full-fledged match of Billie Starkz. She was okay. Obviously, there's still room for improvement, but she came off decent. As far as the match is concerned, we start off with a snapmare into a Meteora, got a quick near fall. Starkz fights out of the corner with a tornado DDT. She signaled for a top rope senton. Monet bailed out of the way. Rolls to the outside. Billie met her with a suicide dive and a somersault senton off the second rope. Back inside, Starkz up top. Hit a top rope flush senton, but Monet is selling some pain. She kicks out. Starkz wanted a driver, some sort of driver, and Monet escaped into a backstabber. She takes out Starkz to the outside. We go into a commercial break. So we'll pick it up after the commercial break here. Monet, she wants the Three Amigos, which is her signature move. Starkz counted right at the end into a neck breaker, right across the knee. Crowd behind Billie here, who hit a rolling elbow and a high stack German suplex for a 2 count. Monet caught a charging Billie Starkz in the corner with a face buster into the buckle. Starkz avoided the Monet maker, hits a pump knee and a spin kick, but Monet answered with a discus lariat into the double down in what I thought was a decent spot here for the match. Crowd started really getting into it. Billie slid through a backstabber for a 2, and they traded near falls until Starkz delivered a King Kong dropkick, one of them John Woo dropkicks. So we got a huge move here by Billie in the corner, and then she looked for her driver again, but Monet just barely got her foot on the rope, and she couldn't believe it. Billie. Starkz went for a somersault senton off the top of the apron, but Monet moved and Starkz crashed and burned on the edge of the ring. Monet pulled her back into the ring. She locked in the statement maker, and she got the tap-out submission, and she did not let go of the submission for several seconds after the bell had already rung. Mercedes retains the TBS Championship here against Billie Starkz. That was it.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable. What a shocker, right?
Yep.
What a shocker. We say it every week. What is one of the biggest Achilles heels for AEW? The fucking predictable matches that they book on television every single week and at every pay-per-view. I mean, really. We need story here, man. We need something to happen that's going to really take Mercedes and the division to the next level. But right now, all I see is Mercedes moving on up and everybody else moving down. It's like Mercedes is. You ever see the Mortal Kombat fucking tower, and you're just moving up to fucking Goro and Shang Tsung. It's like Mercedes is at the top and she's fucking pushing everybody else down.
Yeah. I don't even know how to fix this whole Mercedes dynamic right about now, to be honest with you, man. It has been booked so fucking poorly and one-sided. Like, I don't know what to do to make it better right now.
Bro, it is to a point where, she's holding their secondary women's championship. And if they even want her to sniff the women's championship at some point, they're doing more harm than good right now by holding this title hostage on her. Because if she does eventually drop it, it ain't going to mean shit to whoever wins it because there's no fucking story built into anything she does. And then when she eventually goes for the women's championship, it's just going to be that all over again. So you're basically getting what Mercedes should be doing with the women's championship, but with the secondary championship. You mean to tell me that you got this woman under contract for 3 or 4 more years and she's not going to do the same thing with the main women's championship when she wins it eventually?
Yeah.
Who wants to see this?
Yeah, think about that for a second. She's parading around here with 4 titles, an undefeated record, claiming to be the absolute best. She's the second best in this company.
Yeah.
And she's okay with that because she has done nothing to try to become the best. She has all of these belts and this win record and everything else. She is the second best. She holds the second top title in the company. She holds the title for like 3 other fucking companies, wherever the fuck they belong. I don't even know. And she's not even the best in her own company. And she's not even trying to become the best. She's wasting her time with ROH talent and everything else. So I don't understand what is Mercedes' goal here? What is she trying to do here? Because she's the second best champion and she's not as good as she thinks she is. And I'm just talking kayfabe wise.
Everything about this, I can't stand. Everything about this, I just hate. It's It's just not interesting to me. And it's losing its flavor very quickly. And I already feel bad for Athena because I see where they're going. I know what they're planning, and I don't like it. I don't. And if Athena does win the championship, what does it fucking mean? You cannot drop this championship off of Mercedes unless there is at least a 6-month storyline with fucking tension and interest and intrigue and build. You're not going to drop the championship, especially after a long reign like this, in fucking 3 or 4 weeks. It's not going to work. Whoever receives that championship after such a short, uninteresting story is not going to be put over in the way that they think. Oh, well, Mercedes held the championship for so-and-so days. If there's no story around it, it means jack shit. I'm telling you this right now. If you're not prepping to take this belt off of this woman with some solid story and meaning and someone that you truly value at the end of the tunnel here, it's not going to mean a fucking thing. You're wasting everybody's time. And nobody understands that because they're all fucking they all operate off the same brain cell.
Watch this. Who's the best female wrestler in AEW right now?
The best female wrestler in AEW is Toni Storm.
Who's the highest paid?
Mercedes.
Who's the most over?
Toni Storm.
Who's the highest paid?
Mercedes.
Like that. That's
why Monet changes everything, huh?
I mean,
certainly does.
Maybe boss man realizes that it's not about how much money you shell out. It's about how you treat your talent creatively.
Or maybe some people are just more talented than others, and they don't have to fucking go to the lengths that they're going to feel important. But let the work show for it and let the story speak for itself. I haven't said anything that is even remotely cancelable here.
You are never doing commentary again.
Give me a break.
No, you're not wrong though.
Story means everything. Right now, there's none of it. Give it to me, and then we'll talk. MVP and MJF. Their segment was shown last week, ending in MVP's offer to MJF to accept his offer to join up with the Hurt Syndicate. So we go backstage to MJF, who clearly was not in Omaha, Nebraska tonight. He's here with the beautiful weather here on Long Island, holding his business card. MJF is holding MVP's business card, and said many are placing their bets on who will be the next AEW World Champion. Some think it's Darby Allin, who MJF has beaten twice. Why is Darby Allin being mentioned here when he's not even on TV?
I have not seen that guy in what feels like years. Why are they mentioning him?
Was that like a little seed being planted? Do they even know he's going to come back alive as a human being?
Don't plant a seed for somebody who's been gone that long. You ruined
he may come back as a fucking ice pop. We don't know.
He might not come back.
MJF says he's beaten him twice with a side headlock, which is true. And he could be dead on a mountain somewhere, which is also true. Some think Will Ospreay, who MJF beat for the international title, the American title, which was great. I missed that last year. Some think it could be Hangman Page, but says there's only one thoroughbred to put your chips on, and you're looking at him. Looking at the business card. He's got this card in his hand, Jesse. He says he's thinking the title is held by Dictator John, who has an army surrounding him, so maybe he needs a clique of his own. But the last time he trusted anyone, he got burned, so MVP will have his answer next week. MVP said the time for daddy crying over spilled milk is over, and it's about time again to pop some champagne. Now, remember, Jesse, when I had said for weeks that I thought that because they dropped Swerve and the Hurt Syndicate, or Swerve and Bobby Lashley, to move Swerve onto Ricochet, that they would eventually come back to it, and Swerve would go and align with the Hurt business or the Hurt Syndicate to battle the Death Riders, which I thought was a natural progression of things. Find some commonality in a former enemy, and you do business with them to battle for the right of AEW, maybe save AEW from Jon Moxley and the Death Riders. Now that Swerve is not in that picture, and he's going after the World Championship, now we get MJF supposedly aligning himself with the Hurt Syndicate. Are we looking at a spot where we see what I mentioned with Swerve given to MJF, where MJF now does business with the Hurt Syndicate to ultimately battle Hangman Page, only for Adam Page to go and get his own syndicate by bringing his friends back in the Elites. And then it's the Hurt Syndicate versus the Elites in some faction warfare here on AEW Dynamite, where we get MJF and Adam Page continuing their storyline.
Sure.
If that sounds interesting at all to anybody, I mean, you might have a few screws loose. I don't know.
These guys, are they going to try to bring the Elite back as baby faces?
I think if they bring the Elite back in any capacity, I think the ratings will sink to the 400,000s.
That's such a shitty idea, man.
You know, we asked where the Young Bucks are, not because we want, last week we asked this. We didn't ask about their whereabouts. We didn't ask where they were last week because we wanted them back on the show. We wanted to ask where their whereabouts are and what their status is, because this is their company, and seemingly Tony Khan is running the company into the ground, and they don't seemingly care. That's the reason why we brought it to everybody's attention and raised awareness to it last week.
I was kind of hoping they would come back and bring some form of interest to the tag division that seemingly has gone back down the shitter after we thought they were going to be resurging it.
Well, Jesse, being that there is no tag team division right now, and the biggest tag team that you got there is either the Murder Machines or Top Flight or whatever fucking Leo Rush's tag team names is, I don't know.
The Crew.
Sure, whatever, the Crew, sure, with their Super Mario Brothers Koopa Troopa jackets. I don't really see another team but the Young Bucks, Jesse, coming back and maybe beating the Hurt Syndicate for the tag team. Imagine Bobby Lashley, man, putting over the Young Bucks, man. Can you believe that?
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean, might as well. Might as well. Everything else has gone south. I mean, just bury the Hurt Syndicate with the Elite.
Can anybody truly envision what I just mentioned, man? Can anybody see that playing out in real life? Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin losing to Matt and Nick Jackson. Can you believe that?
Oh my God, dude! What the fuck?
Oh my God, man. Dude, they want to fucking kill all of their fan base and have the ratings dip to 200,000 on Wednesdays. By all means, please go and book some fucking mid-level garbage like that, man. How is that even remotely believable? How would anybody even believe that?
I don't know what they have planned. I don't know what they have planned for the Elite coming back, but it better be some fucking Martin Scorsese's fucking style fucking writing, because they are so fucked, man. Nobody gives a shit about them right now, and it seems like they don't give a shit. So I mean, bro, I don't know.
But MJF and the Hurt Syndicate, you'll get your answer next week. I don't give a shit what MJF does, honestly. I just want to see him in the mix for the World Championship. It's been a fucking shit show, and you got to get your players in the mix there. You got such a great top of the card, and Moxley's the one holding the championship. We don't have a fucking World Championship on TV since October. He's got to get back there by any means. If he aligns himself with the Hurt Syndicate, fine. If he continues to see with Page, fine. But the Bucks getting involved, and this leading to the Elite versus the Hurt Syndicate and MJF, because MJF and Adam Page are on separate sides. I mean, oh my God, man, you're really gonna be testing my patience at that point, and I don't want to feel that way in regards to anything MJF and Adam Page related, but I feel like that's where they're going.
No, Hangman is not gonna be able to get the Bucks over.
No. By the way, Hangman, I don't know what he did to his hair and what style of hair he is now walking with, but he looks like a middle-aged Karen who walks into Starbucks and orders a grande almond milk latte with 3 pumps of vanilla at 165 degrees because she can't drink it scalding hot. Did you see his hairstyle?
I don't care about another grown man's hair as much as you do.
I think he looks ridiculous.
Sure, I guess. I don't care.
Well, we complained when Wardlow cut his hair off. Why is this not a problem?
I think that was a little bit different because they cut his hair off in storyline, and that made no sense. But nice try, though.
He looks less intimidating, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I can see that, I guess.
Speaking of less intimidating, Jon Moxley and Adam Copeland. Street fight for the AEW World Championship. This happened.
The main event?
This was not the main event. No, this happened at the 9 o'clock hour because Tony Khan pretended to listen to the audience when everybody said that it shouldn't have main evented Revolution, but he then switched up this show and put this on in the middle of the show when he should have did this on Revolution Sunday. Thanks for not listening to the audience, Tony, or pretending to listen, and you still fucked it up anyway.
Yeah.
This was... I'd listen. This was better than the pay-per-view match. That's all I'll say. Was it more entertaining than Revolution? Sure. Yes.
Was it more overbooked? How was it more overbooked?
This is what we talked about in the beginning of the show. Whatever this match devolved into is what we should have got at the pay-per-view. After the pay-per-view, we shouldn't have gotten a second match. That was it. They should have ended at the pay-per-view, and we should have moved on to whatever happens next. But here we are. This match, I don't know what the logic is there with everybody that works there and the people that piece this show together on a weekly basis. The company, and it happened all across the pay-per-view as well, and it needs to be addressed. They feel like they need to go and do all of the sick, demented, sadistic, fucking indie-rific mud show spots to try and get a reaction. Meanwhile, if you just told proper story and gave reason for people to care, the pop would come because the story is good, not because you're going out of your way to get a pop. Everything should happen in storyline, and everything that happens in storyline is the reason you should be getting the pop and getting the excitement and getting the reaction. I don't understand how anybody watches this shit and thinks whatever happened with this Spike bat tonight is what we need for AEW. I don't know how, if you're Warner Brothers Discovery, you're looking at this spot and deem this show, what this is what we're paying for. This is fucking embarrassing.
Remember, back in the Attitude Era, and you have outsiders watching, and I don't mean just in WWE. I mean like the same like general time back in the 90s of pro wrestling. You get outsiders turn in, and see something there in pro wrestling as like, oh, this is deplorable. This is violent. Those were the modern day Karens. They complain, and us wrestling fans couldn't stand them. Like, oh man, you gotta be a fan. You gotta understand. It's fun to us. It might not be fun for you, but I don't understand how the modern day wrestling Karens are wrestling fans. Now all of a sudden wrestling's too violent for you. The fucking, I'm an adult, man. I can take the fucking violence. Just tell me a good story in the process. Here's a cage match. There was blood. I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a shit. If I think it's too much for kids, I'll let my kids watch it. But me personally, as an adult wrestling fan, I don't care about violence in pro wrestling. All right, that's like complaining about too much speed in a race. All right, it happens. So I don't care how. It just means it's not like the other place. ECW had violence in every goddamn show, but they weren't like WWE. Why? It's a different product. It's not the same fucking product, man. GCW has violence in every show. Different product. It's not the same product. So we have AEW. This is a product that gives us a lot more physical violence. Blood, this, and that. They give it to us more than other fucking promotions. Like, that's what they do. I'm not gonna. I feel like literally the Karens, the 90s, saying that's too much. You can't have that much blood. I feel like if they had none, people would complain about that. They never have any blood ever. It's pro wrestling. They're supposed to get violent. If you sit there and hug each other, there's a fucking problem. You get people beating each other with bats and spikes. It fucking happens. It happens. It happens too much. We have a fucking meter of how much you want it to happen. It happens. This is the product that they give us. Same as ECW. They are violent. They give us weapons. Drunk dudes banging themselves in the head with cans and sticks. That's their identity. That's how they pro wrestle. Now, would you do it if you had a promotion? No. If you watch WWE, do you get it like that over there? No. Different. But I complain about the storytelling because they need to improve tenfold. I'm not going to complain about violence in a wrestling show.
I don't care about the violence. If there was story behind the violence, then I wouldn't care about the violence. The violence happens on this show for the sake of doing violence because they don't know any other way to pop the crowd. They are incapable of telling stories. That's the problem. You know, I don't want to use him in context here, but I am because it makes sense into where I want to go as far as giving you guys the reason why I feel the way that I do. Jesse might not like him. I am very fond of him. Drew McIntyre and CM Punk had the best feud of 2024. Sure, it was over a fucking friendship bracelet or whatever was made for CM Punk. It was turned into a storyline, and they went through the gauntlet of matches. There was a fucking Four Corners match or a strap match. They went and did the Bret Hart Undertaker spot from the 97 SummerSlam, and then they devolved into a Hell in a Cell match where it got a little bit more personal, a little bit more violent, and it all happened and culminated inside Hell in a Cell. Can you imagine Punk and McIntyre going on WWE Monday Night Raw in the summer of 24 in front of, how many people did AEW have tonight? 2,100 people from the Liberty First Credit Union Arena in Omaha, Nebraska. Can you imagine them doing a spot like this tonight and having the fucking spike baseball bat sticking out of Drew McIntyre's flesh to a point where you felt like, and if you watch the show, you would know what I'm saying, if you pulled that off of Moxley's back, it would have been a scene out of The Walking fucking Dead. I don't understand how people in this company think that this is the proper way to generate a reaction. It's fucking pathetic. It is fucking sad. Let me finish. This should happen never, number one, because it was fucking completely obscene. I don't care about it because I grew up watching ECW. I know what violence is. I like good violence. But there's a time and a place for it. You did this to generate a reaction because two things. One, these guys weren't allowed to do it at the pay-per-view because you had fucking 4 other spots on that show that generated blood and buckets of blood being spilled. Number 2, they weren't allowed to do it there because if they did it, it wouldn't have outshadowed whatever else happened before them. So they opted to do it here in front of 2,100 people in the middle of a fucking blizzard on a Wednesday night in Omaha, Nebraska. How fucking pathetic and how sad is that? There's a time and a place to do that. Tonight was not the night to do that, honestly. And the reaction that it got was simply just because they felt like they couldn't do anything else for the story to get a reaction. So they went to the lowest hanging fruit and they got a reaction by doing that spot. Can you imagine if Punk and McIntyre did that, Jesse? They saved all of that spot and they did bleed inside Hell in a Cell. And we didn't get anything as obscene as what we got tonight. But everything that it devolved into in that match, it mattered. Because they didn't do this fucking hokey garbage on a random Monday night in front of 2,000 people. They saved it for when it mattered most. This is trash. I will always think this is trash because there's no fucking story for it. And there's no story behind it. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think that they need to do what WWE does. I think people need to stop worrying about what WWE does in AEW and just do what they do. And
which is what? Embarrass themselves?
What works for them might not work for the other company. I don't think you have to have best feud of the year to compare to, you know what I'm saying, to have that be your pinnacle for everything that you do. They need better storytelling. Regardless if they gave us no violence or a bunch of violence, they still need more storytelling. And I'm not gonna sit here and say it was bad because there was too much violence. I mean, pull your fucking panties out of your ass and just watch the pro wrestling show. Punk and McIntyre didn't do it.
All right, you want to, but you
didn't do it that way. No, I'm not finished.
Go ahead.
WWE didn't do it that way because that's not WWE style. You don't need to do what WWE does. The one thing I do like that about AEW is that they don't do what they used to. Didn't try to do what WWE does. They do what they do. And it comes off differently because it's a different product. We're not a mirror company. You don't have to do what they do to be the pinnacle of what you should be doing. No, you do what you do.
Jesse, it's not working.
Let them do what they do, and let us decide what's working and what's not working.
Jesse, it's not working. The ratings are plummeting. It's not working.
Storytelling is poor. It's piss poor.
That's the point I'm trying to make. There's no story. If the story mattered, this spot wouldn't have been a bigger deal.
If the storytelling was great, this would still be too much violence. because because people who don't like the violence don't like the violence.
You want a better example? Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at the Elimination Chamber was just as every bit of violent as this match was, minus the spike spot, because they didn't have to go that route. But they were violent and they didn't bleed.
WWE.
Kevin Owens had fucking barbed wire to his face and they didn't use blood. And apparently it was real barbed wire because one of them requested it per sap. They did not bleed. You know what they did? They didn't allow those guys to bleed, but they saved it for Cody Rhodes and the end of the show and the heel turn for John Cena because they felt the blood in that spot would mean more to the overall factor of it meaning something. Instead of giving it to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because if they did, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens give the blood spot to them, it wouldn't have meant as much to Cody Rhodes bleeding at the end of the show. Everything has a fucking meaning. There's a time and a place for everything. This shit is fucking embarrassing. That's what I'm saying. They don't know when to do it and when not to do it. They can't get it. No, I want them to make logical sense, to use things when it matters most, instead of using it like it's a fucking, like I go to the sink and grab a glass of cold water. Every fucking week, it's the same thing.
But that's fine. But be more like WWE. You keep giving WWE examples. So you want them to be
Who do you want me to
WWE?
compare them to? GCW?
Be their own company.
They are being their own company, and they're failing.
So they need better creative, not be more like WWE.
They need better creative. If they had better creative, they would be like WWE.
I just don't care about the violence. They need more creative. If they had better creative, it would still be too much violence for people who don't like violence.
You don't care about the violence in the way that has no context for even happening?
No. Think about what I just said. If they had fantastic storytelling, they would still be on the hook for too much violence in the spots that they just gave us tonight.
Well,
it's the too much violence. It's the too much violence aspect that people have the issue with, but it's pro wrestling.
Yeah, but the thing is, if there were story and we got too much violence, I don't think me and you would not be complaining about too much violence because the story would matter. There's no story here.
I'm not complaining about too much violence.
I'm complaining about too much violence because there's no story. I don't give a fuck about the violence. I want the violence to matter. That's what I mean. I want there to be story, so the violence matters.
You don't care about the violence, though, either way, right?
I care about the violence. I care
you want
about
violence
it.
with story. You don't want violence that has no story.
Bro, these look at the examples I just... What is it, going in one ear, not the other? I gave you two examples of why violence in context, when it matters, is important. What more do you want me to tell you?
The WWE examples, right?
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? I mean, you can't get more indie than Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Did you see the match? Did you see the match they had at the Elimination Chamber?
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens has not been indie since the indies. They've been very WWE.
Bro, they wrestled a Ring of Honor style match at the Elimination Chamber. What else do you want from them?
They do what they do. I love it. I love what they do what they do. It's fantastic shit. But that's a different company. They don't have to act like WWE.
They absolutely do. In this context, they do.
I can just watch WWE. I don't need two WWEs.
Well, that's why AEW is failing, because everything you're getting from AEW, WWE is doing it better. What story?
They're doing it because they have better story.
Yeah.
Not because they have less violence.
Yeah, but when they use the violence like this, it matters because there is story.
Yeah, they have awesome story. Whether they use violence or not, they still have better story.
Bro, are you trolling me, bro? Are you trolling me now?
Okay. You don't think outside the box, bro. You think in your own little bubble. I'm trying to tell you, violence is not the problem. The lack of storytelling is the problem.
That's what I'm telling you.
So forget the violence. Just stick to the lack of storytelling. Like, it's too much violence. It could be no violence. It would still be no storytelling. If they had no violence tonight, no bet, no nothing, it was still crappy because there was not enough storytelling.
Well, at that point, the match shouldn't have happened.
We said that already.
Bro, the point I'm trying to make is when the violence like you saw tonight happens, there's no story behind it. If there's story behind the violence, I wouldn't be complaining too much about the violence. What are you not getting? What are you not getting?
If there was no violence, you wouldn't be complaining about an AEW match. That's what you're saying.
Bro, how many people came for me when I said I didn't mind the syringe spot with Swerve and Page at All Out? Because there was story there, and I didn't mind it, and everything in that match mattered because of the history with them and the logical steps that we took to get there. Now you're telling me that I don't remember what I said back in August? Come on, bro.
I'm telling you that if there was no violence in this match, you wouldn't be complaining about it.
Bro, I didn't complain about Swerve and Page. I did not. We got bricks. We got fucking charred wood off of a house. We got syringes. I didn't care about any of it. You know why? Because it fucking mattered, because the story was there. There's no story here. There's no story here.
There's been no story in anything they've been doing lately.
That's what I'm trying to do with the violence. That's the point I'm trying to make, bro.
Yeah, no, they need better story. They need more story. But if we're going in circles.
We are.
They need fucking better creative all around. Violence or no violence, ton of violence or zero violence, the creative is still bad. Either way, remove the violence from the whole situation and it's still bad. So it's not like it's bad because there's violence. Forget the violence. Violence is not the problem. The lack of creative is the problem. It's not that there's too much violence.
All I'm saying is they need to put more emphasis on telling the stories to get a reaction instead of resorting to this fucking GCW fucking garbage that Moxley seems to just want to bring to AEW. We don't need this. We don't need any of this at all. I don't know why this spot was necessary tonight. You cheapen. Imagine Copeland needing to resort to this. Imagine 53 years old or however old he is. This is the type of fucking match we're getting. He doesn't need to do this shit. Adam Copeland is so rich in story that he can go out there and tell a great story. He doesn't need to do this fucking hokey garbage. That's what you do to get a reaction out of the fans. Hey, let's stick fucking spikes and railroad spikes in Moxley's back and almost pull his flesh off the bone. That's what you want to do instead of telling proper story to get a reaction. You want to do that instead.
I don't think they did it in lieu of good storytelling. They're just never going to do good storytelling regardless because we see that consistently throughout the fucking programs. But the fact that there's violence there, it's not like they focused on violence in lieu of good storytelling. They don't have good storytelling at all. I mean, whatever element you add in instead of violence, they still need good storytelling regardless. The violence is is a non-factor as to why it's not succeeding. That's what I don't think you understand. They're not failing because there's too much violence. It's there. It's not helping.
Well, it's certainly not helping. Yes.
No. It is not helping. It is not helping. Absolutely not. But it's not the reason that the stories are suffering. It's not the reason the product is bad. There's violence in pro wrestling. It happens. They're not doing it correctly. Probably not. But that's not the reason why it's failing.
We'll pick it up here. Cope with a paradigm shift on Moxley rather paradigm shift on Cope on the solid oak table, and we go into a commercial break. We'll pick it up after the break here. Not going to go over too much because the ending of the match is where we really want to focus on. Everything that happened here is the typical plunder, chairs and fucking Spike and the announce desk brawling into the crowd and the back, whatever. It's all just nonsensical garbage. So Moxley wanted to Pillmanize Cope's neck, puts the chair around the neck. Cope recovered, chucked the chair at Moxley's face, and went up into the corner. And he hits a superplex. They showed Prince Nana on the screen backstage watching this match from backstage. So we get a forearm battle. Cope delivered a series of lariats, flapjack, and then he goes under the ring to reveal Spike, the nail-covered board. Cope rolled into the ring and was immediately dropped by a Moxley cutter. Moxley slid another table into the ring on top of the one that he had already sitting on the outside. He took time to set it up. Cope grabbed Spike, hit him in the ribs with it, before delivering a suplex onto it, which then was the spot that everybody's talking about tonight. Literally stuck in his back, and the fans were losing their mind. If they yanked on this, his skin was coming off. Honestly, that's how obscene this was.
His skin. It was in his flesh.
It was in his flesh, yes. It legitimately looked like fucking Negan swinging Lucille and pulling the skin off of a fucking walker on The Walking Dead. That's exactly what I thought this was going to devolve into. So Wheeler Yuta hit the ring. He comes out, he takes Cope out with the Busaiku knee. Yuta tried getting the board out of Moxley's back, and it initially wouldn't come out, which then let referee Paul Turner stop the match momentarily to get it free. Yuta charged at Cope, but was hit with a pop-up powerbomb through the table that Moxley set up on the outside. All of a sudden, Claudio and Pac made their way out, and they attacked Cope looking for a concerto, but FTR sprinted out from the back as Cash Wheeler wiped out Claudio with a dive, as Dax Hardwood also was there, planting Moxley with a pile driver before tackling Pac outside. Moxley and Cope remained, and they slowly rose to their feet. Cope hit a spear through a table that was set up in the corner in the ring. He made the cover, but Marina Shafir returned and broke up the count. This was the first time we've seen her in weeks. Willow ran out and wiped out Shafir with the clothesline and then took her out with a cannonball off the apron. Kip Sabian ran in. He ate a spear. Then Nick Wayne flies in with Wayne's World as Moxley made the cover, but Cope kicked out. He did Wayne's World on Cope, did Nick Wayne. Bulldog choke was applied. Cope went out, and Moxley retained. So Cope had all this happen, and he still didn't tap out. He passed out. So you could see Creative Control rearing its ugly head there for Mr. Adam Copeland. Can't take a loss unless it is by his way or the highway. So at this point, we see Prince Nana again shown on the screen in the back watching this match. He pulls out his cell phone. He makes a phone call to him, assuming who is Swerve Strickland. Whatever was said there, we don't know. Post-match, Willow and Wheeler tended to Cope, who reached up for Hardwood's hand, and he did not offer his hand to Cope. Instead, he left. Wheeler went to ask what was up. Hardwood shoved his partner out of the way and walked up the ramp alone without Cash Wheeler. Wheeler went in the ring to go help Cope up and hugged him. And then Willow was there as well, staying with Cope and seeing that things were all right with him. The fans gave him a big ovation as the whole segment and the match came to an end. We said what we said about the match, the spot, Spike. I don't get why we got no dialogue with why Nick Wayne was blasted by Christian Cage last week. And he blamed Christian for failing the Patriarchy by cashing in the contract by making excuses, only to then turn around and seemingly feel like he was doing Christian a favor by going out there and trying to get Copeland to lose the match. So there was no dialogue there. He was bullied by Christian one week, only to come out the next week, and we don't know what was said, why it happened, or why it was done. So that's number one. Number two, the whole FTR, Dax Harwood potential heel turn here. Why wouldn't he help up Cope? I know people are going to say, let it play out, but, I mean, this guy's been battling the Death Riders for 2 months now with FTR. Then they go and disappear, only for Cope to use Jay White as an asset because FTR is battling the Undisputed Kingdom, only for them to then come back and help. Where the fuck did they go? Why did they stop helping Cope to go battle the Undisputed Era, only to then come back and help Cope? He loses because of all the nonsense here and the overbooking, only to then not offer him his hand to help him up and seemingly leave with the problem. What the fuck is the problem? The problem should be Jon Moxley. The problem is Jon Moxley. The problem, the solution to the problem should be beating Jon Moxley and ending this reign, which seemingly Dax doesn't give a shit about now. Why? Why does he have a problem with Cope, Jesse? None of this makes any sense.
So, again, it looks like his shtick has been after matches, because he did it with the Undisputed Kingdom. You know, he just, after they win or lose, he don't want to shake their fucking hands anymore. He did it when they lost. So he had the match where he had the Undisputed Kingdom where they won, but then he snitched on himself and then tried to cheat to win and then lost the match. Well, when he lost the match, he didn't want to shake Undisputed Kingdom's hand. So then the next match where they beat Undisputed Kingdom, FTR won, he still didn't want to shake their hand. So then we got this one tonight. Maybe Dax is just in a bad fucking mood. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Sure.
I don't know what is going on. That's been his thing now. He just don't shake hands. I don't know what his thing is anymore. The first couple of times it looks like Cash agreed with the walkout. This one clearly Cash was a little bit, upset about it, didn't agree with it. I don't know. Nothing really led to this other than him not shaking hands on the way out. But that still doesn't explain why he didn't shake Cope's hand. I have no idea.
No reason for them to turn heel whatsoever. There is no logical explanation after what this man has said on social media and the pictures that have shown and the fact that they live in the same county and they train together. There's no reason for them to turn on each other. Zero. Like, I get they want to do FTR versus Cope and Christian. Great. I don't know how that's going to go off and what that's going to mean, but we could follow up with the question of, well, why was Nick Wayne out there helping Christian after what happened last week? Did Christian send him out there? Did Nick Wayne operate on his own? And if Christian is planning to get ousted from the Patriarchy and go align with Cope for whatever reason and bandage those old wounds, where does that leave the Patriarchy? And where does that leave Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian? They're dead to rights. Nobody's going to give a fuck about them. There's no story there. And why you just abandoned Nick Wayne. He should be bigger off than he is right now after working with Christian for 2 years. Like, all of this is so haphazardly booked. I can't begin to even tell you how sloppy all this is.
No, I don't understand why they were even out there without Christian, though. Like, at all. Like, so, I mean, no Christian in the back watching on the monitor, not agreeing with their, interference, no mention of. It was just, again, we talked about this the other week, where it's like they book a new story, a new episode every week, and want you to forget about what you just saw in the previous show. That's not how you book television.
Yeah, no mention on commentary where Christian Cage is and what he may be thinking. Nothing. They just completely gloss over it. Not one single mention.
Yeah. And the shitty part is you can go along with it and continue to do what they want you to do and just forget about certain aspects of it. And you do that, and then they could revisit some old shit, and then you're like, well, wait, I thought I was supposed to forget about that. Now I have questions about what I saw last week. So, they pick and choose when they want to be, linear and when they don't want to be linear. And it's confusing when you're sitting at home trying to piece together what you're supposed to have interest in. Because you can't fucking tell, because they keep changing shit without explanation. Still trying to find out where the fuck Camille is. Still trying to find out why Kris Statlander is not cool with Stokely Hathaway anymore. I'm trying to find out so many different fucking things that I'm just left to assume, okay, I guess forget this then? Forget this? Should I forget this? No? Keep thinking about, are you going to explain it? Because I'm just still wondering about it at this point. And that happens to so many different fucking things. The face turn for Jay White. I mean, all these fucking, for Adam Cole's fucking, no one understands why some of these things are happening, and they're so important to the overall story that you're trying to fucking tell us. I'm tired of trying to figure this shit out. It's like a puzzle every fucking week.
I don't know, man. This is just, I hate all this. This is the fact that this is taking up the top of your card for the main program of your show, and this is now 6 months in. I don't know what to say, man. I have to zip my mouth before I say something that is going to get me in even more trouble than people think I'm already in. This shit sucks. Every bit of this shit sucks. I'll say it again, and I'll say this for the next 3 weeks until we get to Dynasty. If you are not putting that title on Swerve Strickland at the end of Dynasty, you are asking for your show to fucking devolve into whatever is worse than what we're getting now. This shit needs to end ASAP.
Even if they do, I have questions as what was the whole point of that fucking Moxley run to put it right back on the guy that was champion, right? What's the fucking point of it? It just
goes to show you that Tony is letting these people, Jesse, Moxley and Cope and run the fucking show, and he's just there to say yes or no. He can't say no to them. He can't say no to Mox. He can't say no to Mercedes. That's the problem.
He couldn't say no to Punk either.
Yeah, but Punk is Punk is story, bro. Punk got it. Yeah. These guys don't get it. Yeah. Punk had some of the best stories in the history of that company. Nobody could tell me otherwise.
I know.
The MJF feud, the Eddie Kingston feud, which lasted 3 weeks, had more fucking feeling than this shit in 6 months. Come on, man.
He needs to stop listening to wrestlers.
He does. Whoever he is listening to does not have the best interest of the company at heart. They don't. Punk had, no matter the problems that he caused or whatever was going on backstage, I do believe that Punk truly wanted the best for the show. those beginning stages of Collision were fucking great. I don't know what the fucking show is. Listen to Jesse talk about it every week. I don't know what the fuck it is. You cannot begin to tell me that Collision is fucking better now than it was then. You can't. Shit is ridiculous. It's got to end. Hopefully Swerve wins the championship. It needs to come to an end. This shit is all offensive in every sense of the word. Learning Tree. Bandito cut a promo on Gravity and Chris Jericho. Whatever happened at the 0 hour pre-show. Bandito, who...
God, the show's still going.
Bandito, who cut a decent promo here. I gotta say, he was very well thought out here. He spoke very good English. I never heard him speak before. He understands the dangers, but what Jericho did to his family, humiliating them, is something he'll never forgive Chris Jericho for. Bandito said on Collision, he hopes Jericho shows up and gives him his brother's mask back. Johnny TV struts in and says, who cares? As Bandito isn't ratings, but wrestling Johnny on Slam Dunk Sunday would do more ratings than the Super Bowl. I don't believe that line was even okay to put in the show. Are they fucking for real? Slam Dunk Sunday.
What the fuck is
Slam Dunk Sunday?
Dunk Sunday.
God, this shit sucks. Good luck. Bro, they're doing 1 hour Collision on Saturday and 1 hour Collision on Sunday, bro. So you got two collisions to watch this week.
Okay.
Oh my God, man.
Telling y'all right now, next week, Collision Corner ain't going the way y'all fucking thought. I'm not watching both of those fucking shows.
Quickly, let's roll through this here. Will Ospreay beat AR Fox. Absolutely nothing, man. I don't even know why this was on the show. Why was this needed? I don't get it.
Yeah.
450 splash followed. Ospreay hit him with a hidden blade. Goodbye. AR Fox. Ring of Honor, nobody. I don't know what this meant to anybody. Get it off the show. I love Ospreay, but this was a complete waste of time. We got a match graphic for the title match between Moxley and Swerve at Dynasty now that it is official. Renee was backstage with Adam Page. Renee asked what his thoughts are about Strickland getting this match, and Page says he'd never let Strickland hold the AEW title again, and he's a man of his word. But after what he's gone through with MJF, he realizes his focus needs to be on himself. Page then officially joins the field for the Owen Hart Cup and becomes the next one after Ospreay to officially announce his inclusion for the 8-man tournament to crown the #1 contender for the World Championship title match at All In, Arlington, Texas. This tournament's happening in 2.5 months, and we got 2 people in the tournament now. So that's Ospreay and Page. If MJF isn't announcing himself for the tournament, I don't know what we're doing.
Wait, is that far away?
All In is July 12th. I'm assuming the tournament happens somewhere in May, before Double or Nothing.
They're already building for a tournament.
Or June, rather. June, it'll start, yeah.
They're already building for a tournament that far away. We're in mid-March.
Listen, man. Mention it enough times, people may begin to care early on. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to... look, long-term booking, I guess, but it seems like they're skipping over so many more important things.
Listen, Page has already announced himself for the tournament. Ospreay's going to be in the tournament. I'm assuming MJF's going to be in the tournament. So I already said it weeks ago. If you're not booking Swerve at All In versus Ospreay, or Swerve versus Page, or Swerve versus MJF at All In, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. We talked about this on Tuesday Night Titans last night. Jason tends to think that, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, months ago, that Darby Allin could be the one to take down Jon Moxley, as that is where the story was going before they allowed him to climb Mount Everest. Darby's been out so long that I think that now has that ship has sailed. Nobody gives a shit about that. You got to go with the heavy hitters. Darby versus Jon Moxley to me is not an all-in main event. It's not. I don't give a shit. You got to go with Ospreay or MJF or Page. Page versus Swerve at All In is what they should have did last year. And if they skip it on a second year in a row, I think that's a huge mistake. The Cowboy in Texas wins the World Championship. That's where they got to go. The story's built in. So I don't know what the plan is, but I said if the match between Page and MJF is going to happen next, whatever, it's match 2 or match 3, it should be in the final of the Owen. We could potentially get that, being that Page has already announced himself. I'm assuming MJF's going to be the next to announce himself.
Yeah, it seemed like wow, I had no idea it was that far out. That just seems like a little ridiculous when you have you have bigger fish to fucking fry right now. I mean, seriously. I mean, look, we have a pay-per-view coming up, and the main event for the. I mean, come on, man.
Well, that's it, man.
Wow.
It's all in July 12th.
My God, man. What about Dynasty?
Dynasty is April 6th.
And you're jumping over that to start booking for a tournament. I mean,
I don't know.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
I don't know what to tell you. So, Moxley was shown with Swerve in the graphic, and then Page announced himself for the Owen. So that's that. Excalibur runs down the cards for Collision, which now are 2 one-hour shows. And we got Julia Hart versus Queen Aminata 3, Jesse, on Saturday Night Slam. Oh, my goodness, man. They're both tied. They're both tied 1-1 in their best of 3 series here.
They told us a story at their last match about how Queen Aminata won by following Serena Deeb's advice. Serena Deeb that lost to Momo, by the way.
Yeah.
But they never followed up on it. Are
No.
Serena Deeb
No.
and Queen Aminata a thing? Are they partnered up? Are they in cahoots? I mean, they never followed up on it at all. Haven't seen Julia. Why would we care between the last match and this match if they never followed up on the last match?
I don't know. Why would anybody care about this? Who cares about this? Who's clamoring for a match 3 here? What does it mean? Where does it go? What do the ladies get when they win this match? Do they get a championship match? Is Julia winning this to lose to Mercedes next? What happens?
I have no idea. And I love Julia Hart.
I think Julia's great. I think Queen Aminata is fucking very good as well.
I think the little addition they gave Queen Aminata to having her take Serena Deeb's advice to get the W.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty smart. I thought that was pretty good.
Yep.
Follow up on it, and they did not. They just say we have another match. You don't have Julie out there questioning like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Are you two fucking trying to collude against me? What is happening here? No, it's just okay. Next match, forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that is a part of the detail. All that is a part of the story being told. All of that will help us care about a rubber match, but they don't touch on any of it.
They don't care. They don't care. They just book, like you said, they have to be booking a new show every week. It's like they fail to even use their brains to think about what they did 1 week ago. It's unbelievable, man.
But they want you to care. I want to care. I don't care. And it seems like they don't care that I don't care.
Bingo.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Bingo. Speaking of don't care, Mercedes backstage with Renee, who asked her thoughts on that kid, Billie Starkz, putting up a great fight tonight. Monet questioned who trained Billie Starkz, but said if it was her, Starkz would have had a chance at winning tonight, and then saying, who's she kidding? No, she wouldn't. There's no stopping the Monet train, as now Monet is 17-0. Taz then said Monet is so likable. Is she? Is she? She's very likable.
Taz was a heel commentator.
She's very likable, right? She's so likable that her actions this past weekend got me trending more so than Mercedes. So I don't know how likable she is. You do realize that nobody's talking about that match coming out of Saturday, right?
I didn't even know who did she wrestle.
She wrestled Indy Hartwell.
Oh, did she? Oh, nice.
Nobody's talking about the match, by the way.
How was the match?
It was as good of an Indy Hartwell match as you would expect.
Yeah. You know who's likable? Indy Hartwell.
She is.
She really is.
She seems like a fun time.
She really is I've seen a couple of her vlogs since she got released. She really is a likable person.
Yeah. Gee, man, the downfall of JD from New York has begun, huh? Meanwhile, we got 3,400 people in here. We did 5,000 on Monday. 80,000 views on Monday. Jeez, man, you guys are canceling me, man. It's working pretty well over there, huh?
Who's saying that? Is she?
Everybody. The downfall of JD has crashed and burned.
Okay. They think so. Sure.
There you go. Anyway, Megan Bayne, Statlander. Good old Tony. I know you're listening. Someone will catch wind of this. Good old TK. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? I got a question. What made you feel like this main evented tonight's show or deserved to main event this show, but Tony Storm and Mariah May Hollywood ending did not deserve to main event Revolution? Does anybody have an answer to that question?
I was kind of on the edge of my seat. Well, at the end of the match, I was. In the middle of it, I was, whatever. But at the end of it, I just knew something fucking big was going to happen. I just knew something humongous was going to happen tonight to make this be the main event over the world title match, no holds barred, and all of that stuff we got included in it, all of that stuff. But this is going on last. Well, shit, something's happening.
Yeah.
Somebody's debuting. Something's going down. Let's see it. And then we got what we got at the end, and I was just sitting there like,
nothing happened.
why did this go on last?
I don't know. I would love for somebody in the company to reach out to me and give me the logistics behind why this was decided upon to be the main event, but that at Revolution was not.
Even if something big happened in the match, I would still question why the booker would put this non-title match last and have the main event or the main story world title match in the middle of the show. Like, what sense would that make? Even, bro, I don't care if some super mega unheard of debut happened tonight. Whatever, whoever the fuck. Bailey jumped up and showed up on AEW TV. What the fuck ever. Why would the match be booked like this? Why would you put this non-title match in the main event and your world title match in the middle of the show? It makes no fucking sense.
What do you know, Chi-Town Swark? Tony Khan's listening to his fan base. Look at the mistakes that they made at the pay-per-view. He fixed all of them tonight, and tonight was a banger show.
Fuck. It just tells me he's not paying attention to what we're saying. He listening to words. The women should have went last. Women should have went last. He heard the words and just said, okay, tonight women are going last. He's not paying attention to why people are saying that the women should have went on last. You know what I'm saying? You knew, the booker knows what kind of match is laid out. He knew what was going to happen with the fucking women. And he knew what was going to happen in the main event. He should have read the fucking run sheet and be like, the women are going on last. Done. Title match, bigger story, lots of fucking action. They're going to kill it. Women going on last. That doesn't mean always put the women on last when you have a world title match on the card, Tony. What the fuck?
What do you know, Chi-Town Swark? That shady from NY, he's racist, man. I've never watched a House of Glory show in all 8 years he's been there, but I'm not gonna watch a show until he's off commentary. He doesn't deserve the spot that he's in.
Megan Bayne.
I had to turn you down. I couldn't hear you. Because I'm serious. Because of the way we adjusted the fucking settings before the show, I couldn't take it was too loud, man.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you blew out your eardrums, man.
It was crazy.
Megan Bayne. Yeah, I guess we'll turn that down. You want to turn that down? What do we got yet? 75? What do we say?
Well, I don't know. Your audio is fine, but when you go into any of your like music or the
turn it down.
Effects,
turn it down by like 8 or something.
Oh no, I'm turning it down to my ear, but I don't know when you're coming out of it. It's too low.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. But we're good now. We're good.
All right. Megan Bayne. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Main event here. Don't know why, with Kris Statlander, who we adore here.
Oh,
Statlander. Yeah. Penelope Ford. She's on the outside. She's in Megan Bayne's corner. No explanation as to what the relationship is between these women after, 5 weeks now? Not one single iota of a question. Not Excalibur, not Taz. Nobody asks what the relationship here is outside of the fact that it is Joey Janela's current girlfriend and his ex-girlfriend. That's all we know. Maybe that's the reason why.
Peep this. They gave us more explanation as to how Queen Amanada won against Julia Hart by using the advice of Serena Deeb than they have given us as to why Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne are united.
It's unbelievable. After we start the match, bell rings. We'll pick it up before the commercial. Statlander was hit with a back suplex from the apron, and we go into a commercial break. Bayne hit a running Liger bomb. She looked for what she calls her F1, or not F1, F5. She calls it Fate's Descent.
Nah, F5.
Yeah, F5. I feel like that's it's like it legitimately sounds like a chapter in God of War. Fate's Descent.
Nah. Sorry, Megan. It's gonna be F5. You're the female Brock. Sorry.
Statlander got free from Fate's Descent and hit an axe kick for a double down. Both ladies here were slugging it out. They get to their feet. Statlander hit an enziguri. Aubrey Edwards blatantly sees Penelope Ford trip Statlander and ejects her. So there you go. Goodbye. It could have been a disqualification. She opted not for the disqualification, but she opted to kick her out of the ringside area. Storm said, "Farewell, sugar tits." She was on her way out. Statlander avoided a pump kick into a powerbomb and a sit-out slam for a 2. Statlander went for a big leaping elbow, and that led to both ladies shredding release German suplexes. Both no-sold these Germans. And then a leaping lariat by Megan sent Statlander out to the floor. Bayne connected on a tope suicida. We go back inside. She had a Falcon Arrow. Goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. And then we get a draping DDT and a somersault by Statlander out to the floor. Bayne reversed an Irish whip and launched Statlander into Storm on the outside before laying out Statlander with the F5 on the outside. Bayne told Storm to watch this. It's the most she said in all 5 weeks she's been on TV. And she laid out Statlander with another F5 to win the match. Now, post-match, Storm gets up on the announce desk and taped up her right hand. She came into the ring, and both ladies start slugging it out. Security and officials separated the two. Storm clotheslined Bayne over the top rope. She landed on her feet like The Undertaker would after he was clotheslined out of the ring. Storm grabbed the microphone and said, "Bayne is a big bitch." And she always said, the bigger they are, the harder they come. So it's time to get tantric. Bayne keeps looking at her title, but not much to say. So she'll make it easy for her. They'll have a date at Dynasty where she'll make her thighs shake, her body quake, and leave with this strap on. Now she's timeless Toni Storm, and she'll rip Megan's tits off.
Love it.
She's great.
I'm told that RJ City wrote the whole promo for Toni Storm.
I could see that happening, yeah.
So where all the fire RJ City text coming from?
Well, apparently he thinks the bigger they are, the harder they come. So
Gold.
there you go. No reason for this the main event. I don't know why they opted this and then not Tony and Mariah at the pay-per-view. Very just befuddled at that. But Dynamite tonight was better than last week. But man, oh man, they in the creativity department, man, they are beyond helpless. This shit sucks, man. I'm sorry.
It is. So the there's an underlying problem with everything AEW, and it spirals into everything else that goes on, into our disagreement about the violence, into who should be champion, who should be in this tournament, who should be. It all comes down to creative. All of it, 100% of it comes down to creative. Why was this match bad? Creative. Well, why did this violence make no sense? Creative. Well, why does this booking it all fucking creative, man? All of it comes down to one goddamn thing, and it's consistent. It's extremely consistent. We had a couple of good weeks of good television, which was great, but that quickly went away, and we're back onto the streak of either mediocre or bad. And I don't see how no one can see this and correct the fucking problem in AEW. Man.
Well, Tony clearly needed to put himself at the top of the heap, saying the reason why the shows are better is because he took more creative control, like he wasn't fucking the head of creative control to begin with.
Right.
So where is he now when the shows
Where
have...
is he now?
Where is he now? Is Tony going to say that he's head of creative now that the shows have gone back to being mediocre? Or worse, like last week?
The shitty part is, as they like to take aim at people who says anything bad about the company, the response is pretty much universal. You know, some people say this wasn't my cup of tea. Some people say I thought they did better shows in the past. Some people say I wasn't a fan of this one. Some people say that it fucking sucks. But if you just say it fucking sucks, then they're mad at you.
Yeah. It's the way it goes. Saturday night and Sunday night. We got Saturday Night Slam and Sunday Night Slam. Saturday Night Slam is looking like this. Danny Garcia versus Adam Cole for the TNT title, where everyone is banned from ringside. This is happening after the college basketball games, by the way. So Adam Cole wrestling for a TNT championship in front of, 150, 200,000 people on a Saturday night? Great. Julia Hart versus Queen Aminata 3. Konosuke Takeshita, Brian Cage, and Lance Archer versus Mark Briscoe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Rocky Romero. Where the fuck did we get Rocky Romero? None of it makes sense, man. How Powerhouse Hobbs goes from teaming with fucking Lucha Libre to teaming with Rocky Romero and Mark Briscoe. I don't know, man. I don't know. We just announced Konosuke Takeshita for House of Glory on April 25th.
Oh.
Max
calling that match?
More than likely.
Okay, good.
Max Caster Open Challenge. That's happening on Saturday. Collision on Sunday. Death Riders. It will be Claudio Pack and Wheeler Universe Top Flight and AR Fox for the trios titles. Hologram and Commander versus the Beast Mortos and Dralistico. Harley Cameron will be in action, and Bandito will go one-on-one with Johnny T. This sounds awful.
Where's Brody King?
Bro, I would cancel. I would cancel Collision Corner if I'm you next week.
Bro, look, I'm gonna come up with something for next week, but I'm telling y'all right now, I don't know if I'm gonna take an evening out of my Saturday and Sunday to watch Collision, man. They gotta put that shit on one night.
I don't know what the fuck their logical reason is to put it on two separate nights, but
we'll see. Maybe I have nothing going on in life this weekend, and maybe I'll just torture myself.
So basically, what they're doing is they're resurrecting Rampage for the weekend. That's what they're doing.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Twice.
Two
1-hour shows.
Yeah. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go follow Jesse on YouTube as well. He's got a channel, if you guys don't know. So go hit the subscribe button over there. Super chats are open. We hit 1,100 likes. Thank you guys very much. Hopefully you took a lot away from this, and we mean well. Hopefully you don't want to cancel Jesse and I for our pro wrestling opinion tonight. You know, we're such evil, vile, disgusting, despicable, offensive individuals because we talk pro wrestling. It's unbelievable. You know?
How dare you?
How dare I?
What I like.
I know. Listen,
Someone's tried to kill me in my DMs. Oh, let me check. I didn't check today.
You got to check your spam folder, bro. That's where all the good stuff is.
Exactly. I rarely check it. Let me check the spam folder to see, because I got some awesome CM Punk hate there last time. This time, nope, nothing new. We're good.
All right, good. Look at that.
Just porn.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
It's all, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Man.
There's more story in porn than there is in AEW. I'll tell you that.
Yes. Absolutely. best stories ever. You know, though, your favorite porns where they have the story in the middle or in the beginning or whatever the fuck. That seems like more storytelling than we're getting right now.
Oh my goodness, man. Mel's Matt Chat with 47 months. JD and Jesse, hope you're doing well. Love you both. And haters are going to be going to hate. Keep doing you. Keep killing it. As well, Jesse, same goes for you. Love you both. OTS for life. Thank you, Mel. Michael with a 2. JD, Jesse, how's everyone today? Let's go. Yeah. And no matter what happens in life, people will hate what they don't have. And that's JD, Jesse, Jason, which is backed up by the powerful OTS community. Absolutely. You guys killed it on Monday. You showed me and Jason some great love on Tuesday. Appreciate it, man. Gabriel Boss with a 25 in Super Chat. JD, Jesse, if you say Mariah May is a made superstar because of Toni Storm, then it should come all in. A returning babyface Mariah ends Mercedes' streak. No, that's not happening. I could see Mariah joining Mercedes in a faction of some sort, but I can't see that happening. Mariah is best as a heel. Scorpio 1117 with a 5. The following needs to get the fuck off AEW TV. Dope. I'm assuming he means Cope. Mox, Trashley, Mama Benjamin's son, Timu Alexa Bliss, Penelope Ford, and everyone else over 40. Well, tell us how you really feel, Scorpio. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. Mox has become a disgrace. He will have Swerve lose. If he has any sort of creative control, I'm assuming he will. Richard Cohn with a new membership and a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, what was that crap tonight? Is that wrestling? I watched wrestling for 55 years. That's not wrestling. That is crap. But you and Jesse are the best. Thank you, Richard Cohn. We got some great wrestling tonight. We got some not great wrestling tonight. So it's like a candy shop. There's a flavor for everybody, bro. Fresh Fly with a $4.99. Will you do a giveaway for subs? Maybe some copies of WWE 2K25 or a WWE title belt for your subscribers who support you? No. No, I will not. Why? So I bought subs, and so I get people who come over here for free giveaways and then not here for the content? No, that's only for the amateurs in the YouTube wrestling community who got to bot their views and subs and Instagram and Twitter engagement. No, that's not for me. Triple M, $2 super chat. What's up, brother? Again, thank you for the runs earlier. I got my conditional finality finally. I saw the clip of Mox on X. Absolutely disgusting, says Triple M. I agree. Best in the world, Matt, with a 6 months. 6 months and counting, being a part of the best community in the IWC. Best of the best of the best. And fuck the rest. Absolutely, brother. It's a great song. Adam Cohn with a 20. That John Cena promo got me thinking of good promos. What are your favorite? There's just too many to mention. I mean, McIntyre's a great promo. Punk is a great promo. Rollins is a great promo when he wants to be serious. Cody's a great promo. We'll be here all night talking about best promos. Mick Foley's a great promo.
Megan Bayne.
Megan Bayne's a great promo, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Ashton Chevalier with a 5 times 2. He says, Tony forgot the sickos. Hate women's wrestling. Okay, we got 2 women's matches tonight. That may be a first. It's like Tony sets up crap tables every week and rolls for each booking decision. Snake Eyes. Dax Softwood turns heel. Yeah, nobody knows why. Why is he turning heel? Why does he hate Adam Copeland all of a sudden?
Maybe he just opened Twitter by mistake in the middle of the show.
Maybe he feels that Copeland didn't help him enough during the floods down there. I don't know.
Took on his Twitter persona.
Maybe he likes a different coffee shop than Dax does. I have no idea. Zoid with a 3 months. AEW's issue is the lack of direction. Can you imagine a movie where actors direct themselves? Wrestling is a form of drama. Same rules apply. Zoid, that is a absolutely accurate statement, brother.
Really? Because actors direct their own movies all the fucking time.
Yeah, when you get to that point, sure.
Literally.
Steven Spielberg. Nobody's gonna go and tell Steven Spielberg what to do.
Clint Eastwood, actor, director.
Well, he's got a resume to back that up, sure.
Yeah. A lot of years in the business, right?
Sarit Mohanty. One of my U.S. friends said that $25K USD for John Cena's private meal is not that costly and is a regular affordable price here in the United States. Is that true? I hear that's too much. Sarit, $25 to sit down with any celebrity is not only expensive, it's pathetic.
$25,000.
$25,000, yeah.
It's about the price for eggs, so
You could go buy yourself a brand new car for $25,000. You're gonna sit down with John Cena for a 2-hour meal to do what?
Or 2 cartons of eggs.
Yeah. Jedi Joke with a $5 super chat. My bro and I are continuing our tradition to go to every Philly AEW show so far at Dynasty. We're sitting 4th row hard cam. I can't wait. It's a great move there, Jedi. Philly's a great city. Ashton Chevrolet with a $5 super chat. Blame the bad show on the White Mountain, Tony Skies Daily. Well, they want you to believe the blizzard was the reason for the bad show. But everybody that was advertised was on the show tonight. Some guy with cancer with a $5 super chat. Boy, what a name that is, huh? I remember hearing Jimmy Jacobs was the problem with AEW's creative when he left. What happened with that? I mean, they've blamed him and moved on. Now everything is great, according to the Sickos. Tony Brown with the $4.99. JD and Jesse, Megan Bayne might not get that ABC, but she definitely could get that D. Oh, my goodness. Tony Brown, you know what? You'd probably be more of a man than Joey Janela. Jay Everington, $2 super chat. Hear me out. Shane Taylor, future WWE champion, he says. We still don't even know why he has a Shane Taylor Promotions. What is he a promoter of?
Apparently, he's the promoter of Collision.
I guess so. Lucky Death with a $10 super chat. I'm so over work rate equals good wrestling. Charisma, promos, personality, selling, and storytelling all matter more than the most impressive moves some Shawn Michaels wannabe can do, period. Shawn Michaels is probably the greatest pro wrestler ever, and he always was rich in storytelling. Always. Ricardo Linnell with a $10 super chat. Mercedes put other women over in WWE. I think she'd want to in AEW, but why? TK isn't going to write meaningful creative for the women's division. In my opinion, it's the reason she doesn't put anybody over. She has nobody to say no to her. That's why. She don't have any real leadership over there. She does what she wants. She has her own rider. She has her own crew. She has no boss, really. Demeter Bullion, the dog from the land of Agua Gufla. $7.99. Jay Dizzle, the hat and the heel. Jesse. AEW is now doomed. Joey Janela can't get a booking, and Miz ran away with Typhoon. Oh, have a good day, my dude.
I'm trying to figure out why Joey Janela is getting so much free exposure from this stream, man.
I don't know. Well, he said that I wish I ran into traffic in the middle of traffic on I-95 and I killed myself. Is what he said this weekend.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I mean, glad he's thinking about you.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? That's good for you, bruh. I'm not thinking about you.
Our good buddy Ricochet says that he's a better promo than The Miz. You believe that?
Well, let me stop thinking about this for a second. Ricochet is not a better promo than anybody.
I don't care if he's in character or not. That is a ridiculous, outlandish statement to make, man. And you're nothing more than a fucking embarrassment, even if you're in character saying that. No, it is not true.
Yeah, and as I sit and think about it, Miz can hold his fucking own on the microphone.
Yes, he can. Miz is great on the microphone. JTG the Champ with a $6.99 coming to us from Canada. Hey, JD, tonight my so-called former friend just ended a friendship for 10 years with me for not liking AEW, and it's fucked up, man. Love the show, bro. Well, you know what, JTG? Fuck your friend. He's a loser. 10 years to throw away a friendship over AEW, man, that is fucking pathetic, man. You can tell him I said that personally. You can even show him the clip. Fuck him.
Did you do that while sleeping with his wife? Because you might have left out something in that story.
Maybe. I don't know.
Were you banging his wife while watching WWE and then he didn't like, something? I
don't know.
More to it.
Best in the world, Matt, with a $2 super chat. Go back to Roman Moxley. Yeah, he should. I don't want him. Frank Yessie with a $10 super chat. Don't like when mommy and daddy are fighting. Who's mommy and daddy? What are you talking about? What are you talking
he's
about?
having a good time somewhere, man.
I don't know. I guess. Thank you. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry your parents are fighting. $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. Maybe you should have put it to them if they get incarcerated tonight. I don't know.
Is there Rhea Ripley that we
I don't know. Jamel Turney with a $1.99. Slam Dunk Sunday is a special on the Denny's menu. It is?
Is it because they just can't say March Madness?
I don't know.
You can't say Super Bowl. Maybe they can't say March Madness.
We're going to Slam Dunk Sunday, man. Yeah, that'll really get everybody to watch my show. Yeah, man, the lead-ins from the NBA, or not even the NBA, it's the college basketball. Yeah, those lead-ins are really going to fucking show you exactly how many people are watching AEW. Not a single fucking person watching those games gives a shit about fucking Dralistico and whatever. Who's on the show? Rocky Romero. Fuck out of here.
There you go. Whew.
Lewis with a 2 months. Good show like always. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. Joey Taylor with a 5. JD the Squeaky, Tony Khan voice you have on your thing. Why does it sound like Denise? Oh, they're one and the same, bro. Diablo Stackola with a $5 super chat. JD, I'm not on social media like that. What happened that you couldn't commentate the match? Someone soft. I just don't know who yet, Diablo. I will find out, though. And Michael Krause with a 2. More story in porn than AEW LOL. Yes. Absolutely. Guys, thank you for a great stream. Jesse, any closing words before I rev the Dark Horse up and get the hell out of here?
No, man. Tune in. I think I'm going to get to that.
There you go. It's got to be Saturday. It's got to be Sunday night, bro. Sunday nights looks more offensive. Demeter Bullion, he says, what the hell? With a 149 super chat. Thank you, Demeter. Appreciate you, brother. Guys, thank you very much for all of the support on the stream. Thank you for a great week of support here, man. In the light of what had happened, man, the fucked up things that happened to me this weekend, you guys have shown me great support. And I know for a fact that I am not even in the wrong on this one. Like, what am I being blamed for, man? I don't get it. We talk about pro wrestling over here, man. That's all we do. It's like we're fucking. It's like we need to be imprisoned, man. It's like unbelievable. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I made it that way. The sound cut you off? What are you talking about? Oh, whatever. Whatever. I don't have an output. Sorry. I don't have an output in that scene. Guys, we're getting out of here. I'm hopping on Destiny. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for a great stream. I'll see you live Friday for SmackDown.